Chapter 256. Whoosh, a gust of mountain wind blew, making the camp even more quiet. Over 100 people formed a circle, and in the circle, there were 2 corpses lying on the ground and 2 people standing. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's gazes slowly looked around. Their piercingly cold gazes made countless people avoid looking at them. Finally, Fang and Bai's gazes landed on Jiolong and the other caravan leaders. These people had charged out aggressively, but were immediately stunned by the cultivation displayed by Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. Right now, they were standing on the road, unable to advance or retreat. Including Oyu Yanggong and Oyu Fei, the caravan now only had 11 rank 3 GU masters, 27 rank 2 and 38 rank 1 GU masters. Such strength was naturally much stronger than Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. But this was a temporary caravan that was mixed together. These GU masters came from various clans, and were usually on guard against each other. If they were to fight together, they would not be able to do so unless the situation was favorable. They had their own needs, but they were not united, and each had their own way of doing things. If the hearts of the people were not united, the caravan would not be easy to lead. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing displayed rank 3 peak stage cultivation. They were no doubt 2 tough bones. No caravan could swallow them, and even if they attacked together, the whole caravan would suffer heavy losses. For a moment, Jiolong, Chen Shuangjin and the others looked at Fang and Bai, and then quietly sized each other up. None of them wanted to become cannon fodder for others. Moreover, in this situation, beast groups were attacking frequently. The caravan was like a clay bodhisattva crossing a river, unable to protect themselves. The external pressure and the hesitation in their hearts made them hesitate. Fang Yuan's lips curled into a faint smile. Their reaction was within his expectations, the rest was up to her. Although this happened suddenly, and he had not communicated with Shongshin Ci, Fang Yuan believed that with Shongshin Ci's intelligence, she should have sensed this opportunity already. Sure enough, Shongshin Ci and Xiao Dai walked out of the tent. Leaders, these 2 are my Zhong clan's hidden elders, Lord He Tu and Lord Bai Yun. Shongshin Ci introduced. Although her voice wasn't loud, she was the only one speaking, so her words were clearly heard by everyone. The leaders all had different expressions, while the crowd was chewing over the names He Tu and Bai Yun. Shongshin Ci smiled faintly. The 2 lords had a secret family mission and coincidentally joined this caravan halfway. The caravan leaders looked at each other in silence. Since they were hidden elders, even the head of the Zhong clan might not know of their existence. There was also a secret family mission, so it was not easy to find out their motives. Shongshin Ci's words stopped them from asking any more questions. Of course, although this statement was reasonable, it was only Shongshin Ci's side of the story. The caravan leaders were all astute people, and each of them had their own considerations. No one completely believed it. Those who doubted it were still doubtful. But regardless of whether they suspected or believed, the strength of Fang and Bai was there for all to see. Therefore, there could only be one way to deal with this matter. Hence, I see. This is all a misunderstanding. Jiolong suddenly laughed 3 times, his face brimming with enthusiasm. He cupped his fists towards Fang and Bai, sincerely praising them. To think we had 2 such heroes hidden beside us. This father and son pair of Oyu clan are really too outrageous. Their style is very problematic. I have advised them several times, but alas, they did not listen to me. Today, they will be executed on the spot. It can be said that they deserve it. As long as we publicize the fact that they killed Zhongzhu, no one will tolerate 2 traitors who would stab people in the back. Humph, evidence. We have witnesses, but what about material evidence? Chen Shuangquan sneered. Even if we have material evidence, what's the use? My nephew, it's not enough to just have evidence. The key is to have strength. Just now, they killed the Oyu clan's father and son. You saw it, everyone saw it. Everyone is a witness, but what's the use? We all come from different clans, our hearts are not united. How can we deal with these 2 evil thieves? Uncle, are we just going to let them go? They're too dangerous. I won't be able to sleep. If they find out that I'm an insider. Chen Xin became more afraid as he spoke. Humph, you think too highly of yourself. You think they don't know you? Maybe they already know, maybe they already saw you, but they didn't make a move. Why? Because you're nothing to worry about. Chen Xin, don't be naive. In this cold world, only strength is everything. Chen Shuangquan sighed. Chapter 257. The sky was dark and gloomy, the clouds were very low, as if a storm was coming. The caravan moved forward on the mountain path with heavy footsteps. The large black-skin fat beetles in the caravan were all dead. There were only 2 winged snakes left, each with a disability. But there were more backpack toads left. Because of their small size, they moved quickly and could easily avoid the attacks of wild beasts. As for the ostriches, although they were about the same size as the backpack toads, they liked to bury their heads in the soil when they were frightened. This method of deceiving others and themselves caused them to suffer the most casualties. Zhongxin Ci was mixed in the crowd, looking at the dozen or so backpack toads beside her with a complicated gaze. The goods on these backpack toads were all Zhong clans. Although Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing did not participate in the discussion, the caravan leaders still allocated a large batch of goods to her. So this is because of strength. Zhongxin Ci sighed in her heart. Previously, when Zhongzhu was around, these leaders had a calm attitude. But now, they were polite and even had a hint of flattery. There were also those Jiyu masters and family servants. Right now, their gazes towards her were filled with respect and wariness. All these changes are because of these two. Zhongxin Ci looked at Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing not far away. Her gaze was somewhat complicated. On one hand, she felt a sense of security from Fang and Bai. On the other hand, she who had a kind heart felt fearful of Fang and Bai's ruthlessness in killing people. Hehehe, it seems we scared that girl. Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan were walking side by side, and after sensing Zhongxin Ci's gaze, she softly laughed. 7 to 8 days had passed since they killed Ou clan father and son. The influence spread to the whole caravan. Of course, this included Zhongxin Ci and Xiao Dai. Xiao Dai did not even dare to breathe loudly in front of Fang and Bai. Zhongxin Ci's gaze also avoided eye to eye with Fang Yuan. This reaction was within Fang Yuan's expectations. This master and servant pair had grown up in Zhong Clan village, and were influenced by the righteous path. When Fang and Bai showed their demonic nature, they could not help but notice the difference between them. There was still a long way to go before he could accept 2 demonic cultivators. Fang Yuan was not worried about this. External pressure would force them to accept and compromise. People always have to live. Next. After a few beast attacks, the estrangement in their hearts would gradually disappear. The problem now is him. Fang Yuan looked at Chen Xin. This young Jiyu master seemed to be the guy who escaped with Zhongzhu. He thought that the white-feathered flying elephant had already crushed him into meat paste. Unexpectedly, he was still alive. Even if a Jiyu master's cultivation was not high, if they had 1 or 2 special Jiyu worms, they could not be underestimated. Without the earth communication ear grass, Fang Yuan no longer had any means of detection, allowing him to escape with his life. No one knew how much he knew. But no matter what, Fang Yuan had a way to deal with it. He was a cautious person, always thinking about failure before thinking about victory. When he made the plan, he had already considered the possibility of being discovered. So, after he killed Zhongzhu, he purposely displayed his powerful strength. If someone really found out, seeing Fang and Bai's valiance and ruthlessness, most people would feel fear and hide it. Ou clan's father and son were on the tip of the spear, if not for Ou Fei. Fang Yuan would have found a chance to cause trouble, or when the beast groups attacked. He would have displayed his powerful methods. Of course, if he was exposed, Fang Yuan had many methods to retaliate. The caravan leader Jiolong was a very good chess piece. He was Jiaofu's man, and Fang Yuan had obtained Jiaofu's token at Guiyue village. As long as he showed the token and did some things, he could obtain Jiolong's trust. But no matter how perfect a plan was, there would be mistakes when it was implemented. As the saying goes, man proposes, heaven disposes. Even if Fang Yuan was experienced and astute, there was a chance of failure. However, it was also because of this that life was so exciting. Fang Yuan's first thought was the worst result. If his luck was extremely bad, when he killed Zhongzhu, someone would see it and leave behind solid evidence. In the end, it would cause Shang Xinci to realize the truth, and develop deep hatred towards him for biting the hand that fed him. Then what should he do? It was very simple. Just kill Shang Xinci. She was only a mortal now, killing her was easy. Shang clan leader also did not know she was his own daughter. If he did it cleanly, there would be no repercussions from Shang clan. Looking at the result now, Zhongzhu was dead, and Fang Yuan's luck was not the best, leaving behind a trail. But it was not the worst, at least Shang Xinci was still kept in the dark. Fang Yuan was sure of this. Because Shang Xinci was still young, in Fang Yuan's eyes, her emotions could not be hidden. Crocodile-elephant group is ahead. A crocodile-elephant group is charging towards us. Alert, alert. At this time, the investigative GU master ahead flew back, bringing bad news. The caravan was slightly disturbed, but soon calmed down. It's only crocodile elephants, don't panic. We don't have enough manpower, we can't defend here. That's right, everyone scatter and enter the rainforest. The GU masters gave the wisest order, the caravan members' hearts were already stretched taut, and they quickly scattered. If they encountered such a situation before Feihu Mountain, perhaps there would still be people who were worried about the goods and hesitated. But now, they resolutely gave up, not even looking at these goods, and focused on escaping. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing protected Shang Xinci and her servant, charging into the rainforest. He was not surprised at the crocodile-elephant group's arrival, because it was his plan. Rumble, the crocodile-elephant group rushed over, and soon there were miserable cries and sounds of trees being knocked down. Fang Yuan brought Shang Xinci and the rest, carefully evading in the rainforest, but there were many crocodile elephants, and they still encountered one. The crocodile elephant was small, about the same size as a yak, which made it more agile. Its whole body was covered in scales similar to a crocodile's, and its defense was thick, far surpassing the white feather-flying elephant. The elephant's tail was also like a crocodile's tail, dragging on the ground. Ah! Seeing this crocodile elephant charging over like a small mountain, Xiao Dai cried out in alarm. Shang Xinci's face was also pale. Don't worry. But no matter how they cleaned up, the zombies could never be killed, never ending. After all, the size of the zombie squads was limited, and southern border had many mountains, the journey was dangerous, and the expenditure was huge. The investment was high, but the returns were small, and it was impossible to turn Mu Bei Mountain upside down. Any fish that escaped the net, after a period of time, would form the scale of zombies. After several large-scale alliances, the enthusiasm of the people was exhausted. This night, the caravan camped at the foot of Mu Bei Mountain. The starry sky was bright, and Fang Yuan looked up at the dark shadow of Mu Bei Mountain, his eyes flashing with a contemplative light. The time is ripe, these people have lost their value. It is time to get rid of these troubles. Chen Xin was going to die, but it would be even more troublesome to get rid of him alone. What did he know, and who did he reveal it to? Was there anyone else besides him who saw it? Fang Yuan had no idea. But Fang Yuan did not want to find out. Because in his plan, if Chen Xin died, the others would also die. Only when they were all dead could it be considered clean. He opened his eyes and saw a solid figure blocking in front of him. As for that black hair zombie, it was lying far away. It's that Lord Hay 2 from Zhong Clan. The GU Master's heart shook. Howl. That black hair zombie's chest caved in from Fang Yuan's punch, but it did not die. Instead it jumped up and charged towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's whole body was covered in a layer of white light armor. He slightly frowned, and when it got close, he grabbed its arms and tore them apart. The black hair zombie was immediately torn into two halves by Fang Yuan's enormous strength. Blood mixed with corpse poison splattered, but was pushed away by the white light armor. Fang Yuan casually threw away the two halves of the corpse. With such injuries, even a myriad Beast King level blue hair zombie would die. Thank you Lord Hay 2 for saving my life. The saved GU Master was completely intimidated by Fang Yuan's imposing manner. He shouted in admiration and admiration. Fang Yuan ignored him and looked at the chaotic battlefield. This team rushed out 400 to 500 steps and had no choice but to retreat. Densely packed zombies. The investigative GU Master's face was pale. Fang Yuan tried his best to let them rest, then said to the newly formed third team, "Go in that direction." "But that direction is a valley." The team leader was somewhat puzzled. Slap. Fang Yuan slapped him. "Just go when I tell you to. Why are you talking so much nonsense?" The team leader was stunned by this slap. He did not dare to meet Fang Yuan's furious and fierce gaze, quickly turning around and breaking out in the direction Fang Yuan pointed. Fang Yuan formed 3 breakout teams, and after probing them one by one, they finally eliminated all possible locations. Now, only that high slope is left. If I am not wrong, Ding Hao is definitely hiding there. Fang Yuan sneered in his heart, and continued to arrange the breakout teams. These people really don't want to give up. Ding Hao frowned, but soon relaxed. Hehe, if it was an ordinary zombie group, you guys might have broken out. Unfortunately, the owner of this zombie group is me. He secretly mobilized the zombies in the darkness to replenish their numbers, ensuring that there were no weak spots. At the same time, he arranged heavy troops at several locations. After a few rounds, the breakout teams suffered heavy casualties. Enough, if we can't break out, don't sacrifice yourself for nothing. Sigh, it seems we can only defend to the death. Everyone persevere until sunrise. These zombies are made of paper. Bullshit, we are about to succeed. This time, I will personally lead the team. By you new guard. Fang Yuan cursed, and forcefully tried to break out. The GU Masters could only form a team due to his forceful attitude. 8 GU Masters suddenly rushed out, with Fang Yuan leading the way. His huge strength combined with Snow Silver Primeval Essence, as well as the Sky Canopy GU, he easily broke out of the encirclement. Oh no, that place is a little weak. Ding Hao wanted to stop him, but it was too late. He had not thought that Fang Yuan would choose this place to break out. Because this place was a dead end, and adding on the fact that he had constantly mobilized troops to deal with the breakout from other directions, the zombies in this direction were the least. We really succeeded. They broke out. The people in the camp behind him were dumbstruck. Although 5 GU Masters had fallen in the process of breaking out, Fang Yuan and the other 2 GU Masters had survived. We are saved. Quick, let's break out in this direction. The people in the camp cheered. Don't even think of succeeding. Ding Hao gritted his teeth, and quickly mobilized the zombie group to fill the gap. The people in the camp had yet to organize themselves, but the direction Fang Yuan had broken out from was already filled with white hair zombies. There were also 5 black hair zombies, and they pounced towards Fang Yuan and the other 2. The other 2 were instantly terrified. Follow me. Fang Yuan shouted coldly, and pounced towards the direction Ding Hao was hiding. The 2 panicked people had no time to think, and subconsciously followed. H, you didn't choose any other direction, but ran towards me. Hehe, it seems even the heavens want you to die. Ding Hao's lips curled up, and he proudly looked at the 2 zombies beside him. These 2 zombies were tall, and their bodies were covered in green hair. They were green hair zombies, stronger than black hair zombies, and had the battle strength of 1,000 Beast King at night. After so many years, Ding Hao had only saved these 2 zombies. Go! He willed, and the two green hair zombies immediately shot out. 80 steps later, they collided with Fang Yuan and the other two. Fang Yuan faced one head-on, and even though he had the strength of two boars and a crocodile, he could only fight evenly, and both sides took several steps back. Chapter 260. Ding Hao only felt a clap of thunder in his mind, making him dizzy. Who is this person? He actually found me and knows my name. It's impossible. All these years, I have been careful and never let the cat out of the bag. How could he find me? His mind was in a mess. The two green-haired zombies, as well as the black zombies and white zombies around the camp, were all motionless. The people in the camp did not expect this scene and were stunned. But Ding Hao immediately reacted and hurriedly gathered his mind. The battle in the camp started again. Fang Yuan saw that the two zombies did not continue to rush over. He knew that he had already succeeded halfway, so he shouted, "Ding Hao, if you don't come out, you will regret it." Ding Hao hid in the bushes and mobilized the zombies to surround Fang Yuan. On the other hand, he gritted his teeth and asked, "Who are you? How do you know my name?" Fang Yuan coldly snorted, "Of course it was my master, the second zombie king." "Ah!" Ding Hao couldn't help but exclaim. The words master and second zombie king were like boulders that suddenly fell into the lake in his heart. With a loud bang, huge waves were set off. He could not help but stand up and walk out of the bushes. He stared at Fang Yuan with shock and doubt in his eyes. "Who are you?" Ding Hao asked eagerly. Fang Yuan coldly snorted and said in a tough tone, "Are you deaf? Didn't you hear? I am the eldest disciple of the second zombie king. Hey to Ding Hao, I will count to 3. If you don't remove these two zombies." He. "You are the eldest senior brother? Wait a minute, how does master know my name?" Ding Hao's heart was full of doubts. But even so, he still called the two zombies back to his side. Fang Yuan's face turned serious and he scolded, "Who is your eldest senior brother? Master hasn't accepted you as a disciple yet. Why are you shouting?" Ding Hao was scolded and could not refute. Fang Yuan's tone softened, "You talk to yourself in front of the stone tablet all day. How can master not know your name?" "Ah!" Ding Hao suddenly exclaimed. For the past few years, he had been alone, with only zombies as his companions. When he was depressed and in pain, then, he would hide in the last cave and talk to the stone tablet about his worries. He didn't expect that Fang Yuan would expose his privacy. I thought it was an ordinary stone tablet." Ding Hao stammered. "Humph, what level are you at? Of course you can't see the profundities of the stone tablet. How can you see through master's remarkable abilities?" Fang Yuan sneered disdainfully. In fact, even if a rank 9 GU master looked at the stone tablet, they would not be able to see the profundities within. That was just an ordinary stone tablet. But in Fang Yuan's previous life, after Ding Hao had made a name for himself, he recalled his life of struggle and had once said this. Ding Hao licked his lips. Although he believed most of it, he still had some doubts. He bowed deeply to Fang Yuan, cupping his fists. "Lord He Tu, since you are master's disciple, then please show me the unique rigid heart GU of our inheritance." This was the rigid heart GU. It was unique to the Zombie King bloodline and was shaped like a heart. It had 7 orifices and was as stiff as stone. It was rank 3 and was as cold as iron, as if made of bronze. The rigid heart GU could produce the rank 2 driving corpse GU, similar to the charred thunder bin mother GU that could produce charred thunder potato GU. The rank 2 driving corpse GU was also a consumable GU. It could be used on corpses and form zombies. But it had an advantage over the charred thunder potato GU. The zombies it created could grow to a higher level. For example, white hair zombies could grow into black hair zombies, and black hair zombies could become green hair zombies. Fang Yuan had the charred thunder bin mother GU, but he did not have the rigid heart GU. In the face of Ding Hao's request, he was not nervous at all. Instead, he confidently scolded, "Bullshit. I'm carrying out a secret task arranged by my teacher. I'm following the caravan in disguise. How could I bring the GU with me? This rigid heart GU feeds on zombies. How can I get zombies under everyone's eyes?" This. Ding Hao was stunned. "What this? You think I can't kill you?" Fang Yuan timely revealed his snow-silver primeval essence. His rank 3 peak stage cultivation was undoubtedly revealed. Ding Hao's pupils shrunk, he was only rank 3 middle stage. Fang Yuan continued, although our bloodline can control zombies and form an army. But controlling zombies requires mental control. If the soul is not strong, the mental control will be weak, and the number and quality of zombies you can control will be average. Although you have 2 green hair zombies, if you want to control them while fighting yourself, there will be many flaws. It's easy for me to kill you. Ding Hao heard this and licked his dry lips, taking a step back with some fear. But Fang Yuan immediately changed the topic. Before leaving, Master told me that there is a Ding Hao in Mu Bei Mountain, and wanted me to inspect him to see if he had the qualifications to be accepted as a disciple. I didn't expect you to take the initiative to kill me before I even looked for you, Ph. This, eldest senior brother, I didn't do it on purpose. When Ding Hao heard that Fang Yuan was sent by the second zombie king to inspect him, he couldn't help but panic. Who's your eldest senior brother? You haven't obtained Master's approval yet. Ph, you don't doubt me now? Fang Yuan raised his eyebrows. Ding Hao quickly cupped his hands and said with an embarrassed smile, eldest senior brother, since you know about the rigid heart goose food and our shortcomings, no matter how stupid I am, I understand eldest senior brother's identity. Fang Yuan kept a straight face and didn't say anything, only looking at the 2 green hair zombies. Ding Hao was stunned for a moment, then immediately understood. With a thought, he sent the 2 green hair zombies away. Then, he walked in front of Fang Yuan, bowed, and said in a low voice, eldest senior brother, please forgive me. I just wanted to devour this group of people and accumulate enough zombies. I really didn't expect eldest senior brother to be here. If I had known earlier, I would have gone down the mountain to welcome you. I have long been determined to follow Master. Heaven and earth can prove my loyalty. Fang Yuan softened his tone. Master knows your loyalty. Before I left, my teacher also instructed me to take a look at you on account of your admirable loyalty. Even if you didn't meet the standard, as long as the gap isn't big, it doesn't matter. I see. Ding Hao was overjoyed. But Fang Yuan's face darkened, and his tone was cold. You dared to slaughter the caravan and destroy my secret mission. Do you know how much hard work your second senior sister and I had to put in to sneak into this caravan? Eldest senior brother, I really didn't do it on purpose. Ding Hao's face was sad. His heart was just excited, but Fang Yuan's words hit the bottom. Second senior sister is also in the caravan. I will withdraw the zombies. What? Fang Yuan was furious. He bent his finger and knocked Ding Hao's head. Is your brain a mess? Can't you use your brain? Are you going to make me suspect by withdrawing the zombies for no reason? Idiot. Ding Hao covered his aching head and hurriedly nodded and apologized. Yes. Eldest senior brother is right. Eldest senior brother, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Fang Yuan pointed at Ding Hao. You've made a huge mistake, but since it was an unintentional mistake, I'll let it go. Next, you must do as I say and make up for your mistake. Ding Hao was scolded like a grandson, and he kept nodding and bowing to Fang Yuan. However, Fang Yuan did not make any requests. Instead, he asked, tell me the truth. How many white-haired zombies, black-haired zombies, and green-haired zombies do you have? Do you have blue-haired zombies? Ding Hao looked ashamed. I'm stupid. I've lived in Tombstone Mountain for almost 10 years, but I haven't raised a blue-haired zombie. I only have 3 green-haired zombies. I left one in the cave abode to guard and brought the other 2 with me. As for black-haired zombies, I have more than 120, and white-haired zombies nearly 4,000. Fang Yuan also expected that he didn't have any blue-haired zombies. After confirming it, he was slightly relieved. He purposely made a sound of surprise and casually said, "You're not far from the standard. It's good enough to have 3 green-haired zombies. As for blue-haired zombies, I only have 2. As for the second zombie king's standards for accepting disciples, he was clear. The second zombie king had left more than one inheritance. In his previous life, he had accepted 7 or 8 disciples, and Ding Hao was one of them. Later, The second zombie king joined Yi Tian Mountain. When the righteous faction besieged Yi Tian Mountain, the second zombie king's disciples commanded the zombie army and shone brilliantly, forcing the righteous alliance to retreat. Ding Hao no longer had any doubts after hearing Fang Yuan's words. He looked at Fang Yuan with admiration in his eyes. Eldest senior brother, you're amazing. You actually have 2 blue-haired zombies. I admire you. Fang Yuan patted Ding Hao's shoulder and showed an expression of being proud but deliberately suppressing it. Raising blue-haired zombies is both difficult and easy. Let me tell you, you first have to find the corpse of at least a rank 4 GU master. However, you have to try your luck and see if the corpse had used GU worms to raise its strength. If it had, it would at least be green-haired. If it is raised with fresh blood for a year or 2, it will have blue hair. I see. Ding Hao heard it and combined it with his past experience. He immediately knew that Fang Yuan's words were true. He quickly said gratefully, "Thank you for your guidance, eldest senior brother." Fang Yuan nodded slightly. He carefully observed Ding Hao's expression and knew that the other party had completely trusted him. Ding Hao was originally a family servant and had been hiding in Mubei Mountain for nearly 10 years to cultivate. He was an honest person and was really gullible. In fact, even a scheming person would be moved by Fang Yuan's words and would at least believe most of it. Since things have come to this, let's put on a show. If you do well, I will pass the inspection, Fang Yuan said. Ding Hao's eyes brightened and he quickly said, "Eldest senior brother, please say it. I will do my best to do it." Fang Yuan gave detailed instructions and charged back to the camp. With Ding Hao's secret cooperation, Fang Yuan safely returned to Shongshin Ci's side. Everyone was surprised, happy, respectful, and in awe when they saw the expert Fang Yuan return of his own accord. From their point of view, Fang Yuan could have escaped, but he came back. "It's my fault for burdening you, benefactor." Shongshin Ci's face was full of shame and guilt. "It's fine. You're just one of the reasons. Besides, Bai Yun is here too." Fang Yuan waved his hand and said this deliberately, making Shongshin Ci and Xiao Dai even more moved. Chapter 261. The zombies' attacks gradually slowed down and the situation fell into a deadlock. As time passed, GU masters sacrificed themselves or zombies fell to the ground from time to time. 2 hours later, Ding Hao followed Fang Yuan's instructions and suddenly increased his momentum, breaking through the already perilous front line. There were only 30 or so people left in the caravan. They had to break through. They had the same opinion, everyone could see. If they broke through, there was still a chance of survival. If they stubbornly defended, they would definitely perish. Breaking through was a bitter struggle. They were surrounded by layers upon layers of white hair zombies and black hair zombies blocking their way. Don't protect these mortals anymore, they are a burden to us, Jiolong shouted. Shongshin Ci and Xiao Dai turned pale. Don't be afraid, I am here. Fang Yuan guarded beside them. The rest of the mortals were mercilessly abandoned, only the 2 of them were left. Jiolong and the others did not dare to say anything, because they still had to rely on Fang and Bai's strength. The caravan moved with difficulty, and just as they were about to break through, 2 green hair zombies suddenly appeared. Let's retreat. Fang Yuan pulled Shongshin Ci and Xiao Dai and said in a low voice. Bai Ningbing's movements paused. Wouldn't they fall back into the encirclement if they retreated? But Fang Yuan had already retreated with Shongshin Ci and Xiao Dai. Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth. Looking at the empty space in front of her, she finally turned around and retreated with Fang Yuan. The caravan and the 2 green hair zombies collided and a chaotic battle broke out. The green hair zombies were as strong as 1,000 beast kings, and although the caravan had many rank 3 GU masters, they were at the end of their rope. As they fought, the surrounding black hair zombies and white hair zombies also closed in, surrounding the caravan. On the contrary, Fang and Bai's pressure was greatly reduced. Fang Yuan retreated dozens of steps and began to break through again. Along the way, there were many white hair zombies, but Fang Yuan charged left and right with extreme power. The white hair zombies fell to the ground and died if they touched them. Bai Ningbing was dumbstruck. Was this Fang Yuan's true strength? These white-haired zombies are so weak. When she made her move, she immediately discovered something strange. The white-haired zombies that blocked their way were several times weaker than the ones they had encountered before, and they looked rather foolish. Without a decent offensive, he was just like a punching bag. Could it be that Fang Yuan had already seen through this flaw and was only making use of it now? Strange, these white-haired zombies all look the same. How did he discover these weaknesses? Bai Ningbing was puzzled. Fang Yuan, however, was cursing in his heart. Before he left, he had told Ding how to pretend to be strong but actually weak. He had to act realistically. What was this now? Ding Hao was sweating profusely. There had never been a moment like this when he was so focused on controlling the zombie army. He was very nervous, feeling that he had ruined the eldest senior brother's secret mission. Guilt and worry made him try his best to cooperate with Fang Yuan's act. Previously, he didn't know Fang Yuan's identity, but now that he knew that he was his eldest senior brother, how would he dare to make a move? So powerful! Xiao Dai exclaimed. Shongshin Ci's beautiful eyes were also shining. Fang Yuan galloped unhindered in front of them, and no one could stop him. He had a kind of invincible spirit. Who didn't love heroes? Which girl didn't have a Prince Charming in their heart, a hero who would save the damsel in distress? Xiao Dai had it, and so did Shongshin Ci. At this moment, the master and servant looked at Fang Yuan's broad back, their hearts rippling. Although Fang Yuan was ugly, in their eyes, this ugliness exuded a cute radiance. His bravery, his spirit, gave the 2 girls an inexplicable sense of security in their hearts. It made them want to rely on him. His acting is too fake, this coward. Fang Yuan wished he could kick Ding Hao until he had no descendants. His thoughts flashed like lightning, and he also thought of Ding Hao's mental state. Seems like this is the only way. Fang Yuan narrowed his eyes, and made up his mind. He suddenly removed the sky canopy GU, and charged towards a white-haired zombie's claw. Immediately, Fang Yuan's flesh split open, and he was injured. Good, that's it. Fang Yuan cheered in his heart. This was the best chance to gain Shongshin Ci's trust. How could he let it go? Damn it. Bai Ningbing cursed, and immediately left Shang Xinci, and ran towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had the young Ji Yu, and that was the key to her turning back into a male. She could not lose it. Oh my God! Ding Hao saw Fang Yuan injured, and he immediately shivered in fear. His heart was filled with self-blame and worry, and his face was panic-stricken, and he kept muttering to himself, "I didn't mean it, I really didn't mean it, eldest senior brother." Ah! Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai cried out together. Fang Yuan was suddenly injured, and they both trembled with heartache. "What are you doing here? Go back and protect them." Bai Ningbing rushed over, and Fang Yuan shouted at her. Bai Ningbing's blue eyes instantly widened. She could see this guy was deliberately injured. What a bastard. "Don't go too far." Bai Ningbing's eyes twitched as she threw down this sentence. With Ding Hao controlling from the side, the white-haired zombie bared its fangs and brandished its claws, but it was all bark and no bite. Bai Ningbing kicked away a white-haired zombie, and rushed back to Shang Xinci's side. "How is He Tu?" Shang Xinci grabbed Bai Ningbing's arm and asked. "He's fine." Bai Ningbing curled her lips. "Why didn't you replace him? He's injured." Shang Xinci, who had always been gentle, said with a rare resentment. Bai Ningbing's mouth twitched. She couldn't tell Shang Xinci that Fang Yuan took the initiative to get injured, right? Thus, she casually came up with an excuse. "He's this kind of person, once he starts charging, he will never stop, unless he falls." Shang Xinci's beautiful eyes flickered, and slightly reddened. Xiao Dai covered her mouth, and her eyes were already moist. Looking at Fang Yuan again, the master and servants' hearts rippled. What kind of person was this? Fearless in the horde of zombies, charging forward with an indomitable will. Without a doubt, he was a hero full of sadness. Ding Hao saw that Fang Yuan was injured, and his heart trembled with fear, not daring to stop him. After fighting for a while, Fang Yuan brought Shang Xinci and the other two out of the encirclement of the zombies. "That's it." He smacked his lips in dissatisfaction, looking at the only injury on his body helplessly. It was such a good opportunity to perform, but he only got one injury. His acting was not good enough. But even if it was only one injury, it was enough to make Shang Xinci and Xiao Dai extremely worried. "He Tu, are you okay? You're injured, the wound is so deep, it's all because of me." Shang Xinci's eyes were filled with tears. A lot of black blood flowed out. "Lord He Tu, you're poisoned," Xiao Dai said with concern. Fang Yuan puffed out his chest, and with a deep voice, he said fearlessly, "What's this small injury? The corpse poison is a bit troublesome, but I have the clear heat GU to detoxify it, you don't need to worry." He. He started laughing. On the ruins of the camp, flames soared to the sky. In order to cut off all means of retreat, and also to illuminate the camp, everyone in the caravan ignited whatever they could before leaving. Fang Yuan and the other three rushed out of the encirclement of the zombies, and found themselves in the outer circle illuminated by the flames. The flames shone on Fang Yuan's face, his chest, and his wound. He was smiling, his appearance was ugly, but in the eyes of the two girls, he exuded a different kind of heroic charm. They had once dreamed of a hero saving a damsel in distress, and the hero in their dreams was handsome and confident. To be honest, the image of Fang Yuan in their hearts was very different. But for some reason, the two girls felt that he was a true hero. He was confident, he was fearless, and his heroic spirit was unparalleled. Many years later, Shang Xinci would ask herself, how did Fang Yuan walk into the depths of her heart? Every time, she would involuntarily think back to this night. Behind them, zombies were everywhere, and the soaring flames shone on Fang Yuan's face. His face was full of burn marks, and when he smiled, he revealed his white teeth. His deep and dark eyes looked at her, the usually cold eyes, under the cover of the orange flames, revealed a kind of warmth. "Save us." The people in the caravan who were deep in the zombie horde, saw the situation on Fang Yuan's side, and shouted for help. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed, but he did not say anything. Shang Xinci had already extended her hand, and grabbed his arm. "You're injured, don't go, let's go. Do you remember what you told me before? Do what you can. Do what you can feel at ease." Fang Yuan laughed, and patted Shang Xinci's hand. "Don't worry, I don't want to go, I have no grudges with them. Let's go. However, it was also inappropriate to walk like this. What if someone knew that he killed Zhongzhu, and shouted out in despair, what would Shongshin Ci think? In truth, his worry was unnecessary. Chen Xin and Chen Shuangquan, who knew, had already died in battle. Fang Yuan's eyes flashed, and shouted, "You guys hold on, wait until I settle them down, then I'll come and help you. Brother He too is righteous. I hope Brother He too will go and return quickly. If Brother He too saves my life, I'm willing to repay you with a large sum of money." The people in the caravan all shouted. Fang Yuan laughed, and looked at the master and servant's puzzled eyes, and said, "Give them some hope, I hope they can create a miracle. Sigh, I can only do this much." Fang Yuan's image in the hearts of the two girls suddenly became much bigger. Fang Yuan led the three, and ran along the mountain path. Under the moonlight, the mountain path was covered with frost and snow. According to the previous discussion, he also arranged for a group of zombies to block the path. The four rushed over, and Fang Yuan gave Bai Ningbing a look, and then stayed on the spot. "You guys go first, I'll block these zombies, and catch up to you later." The two girls immediately hesitated, but under Bai Ningbing's persuasion, they ran all the way, and soon left Fang Yuan's sight. Fang Yuan waited for a while, and pretended to tangle with the zombies. Seeing that the time was ripe, he activated jumping grass, and crossed the zombies, and returned to Ding Hao's side. The battle was still going on. There were only 3 people left in the caravan. But what shocked Fang Yuan was that one of the green hair zombies was also destroyed. After asking Ding Hao, Fang Yuan found out that a GU master had used a rare rank 3 detonation GU. Eldest senior brother. Ding Hao quickly bowed, his face pale, and his forehead was covered in sweat. He had never tried to split his mind to control zombies at such a high intensity. Most importantly, cooperating with Fang Yuan's acting had exhausted him. In the past, when he commanded the zombies, they would either retreat or attack. It was not like today, when they attacked with bare fangs and claws, but had to attack empty space. After being hit by Fang Yuan, he had to control these zombies to stay still. Eldest senior brother, how are your injuries? I really didn't mean it, I have healing GU here. Ding Hao quickly explained. Fang Yuan patted his shoulder. You are good, you are very hardworking. My injuries are not important, I took them myself. Now, put in more effort, and eliminate all these people. Yes. Hearing Fang Yuan's words, Ding Hao immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Turning around, he gathered his spirit, and pushed countless zombies forward. The 3 survivors knew that they were going to die, one closed his eyes and sighed, one scolded Fang Yuan, and one cried loudly. Under death, everyone's nature was revealed. The zombies drowned these 3 people, and Fang Yuan nodded in satisfaction. Did anyone escape? No, definitely not. According to eldest senior brother's instructions, I also arranged a large circle of zombies outside. Ding Hao quickly replied. Very good, you have done well. Clean up the battlefield, be careful not to leave any traces. Yes, eldest senior brother. Ding Hao had ambushed caravans all these years, but did not expose himself, he had a certain level of skill. Cleaning up the battlefield was easy, and even Fang Yuan secretly nodded his head, pretending to be ordinary zombies attacking caravans. However, although he was older than Fang Yuan, he was not as experienced as Fang Yuan. During this period, Fang Yuan gave him a few pointers, and made up for his mistakes, which made him admire him. For example, Yuan stones could not be taken all, and had to be left behind, the zombies would not pick up Yuan stones. Another example was not to turn all the corpses into zombies, after all, there were deep and shallow zombie poisons, and could not be 100% turned into zombies. Eldest senior brother, please accept these Yuan stones. After a cup of tea's time, Ding Hao sensibly presented the Yuan stones he had obtained. Fang Yuan glanced at it, there were about 13,000 Yuan stones. He accepted them without hesitation, and put them all into Chusita flowers. How was your harvest this time? Fang Yuan patted Ding Hao's shoulder, and asked warmly. Ding Hao's pale face showed excitement. The harvest this time is huge. I got 5 complete bodies, all rank 3 GU masters. There are also over a dozen GU master corpses, all of them have been nurtured. After turning into zombies, they are at least black-haired zombies. Ha ha ha, the harvest is good. Take good care of these black-haired zombies, there will definitely be new green-haired zombies. Ding Hao nodded repeatedly, his face full of admiration. This is the first time I have devoured a caravan. It is all thanks to eldest senior brother that you attracted beast groups along the way, weakening them. Ding Hao's harvest is all thanks to eldest senior brother. You are also not bad, you commanded well. But looking at your face, you have used too much energy, your mind is haggard, and your soul has already been injured, you need to rest for a while. In our lineage, the maintenance of the soul is very important. If the soul is not strong, the mind will be weak, and it will be harder to command the zombies. Fang Yuan smiled, his voice gentle. Thank you, eldest senior brother, for your concern. Ding Hao had been alone for the last 10 years. This was the first time he was so cared for by others. He could not help but be excited and moved. This agitation caused him to feel a strong dizziness, his body swayed, and if not for Fang Yuan supporting him, he would have fallen to the ground. I am ashamed. My cultivation is not up to par. I feel dizzy and my mind cannot operate properly. Ding Hao barely managed to stand up. No worries, go back to the cave and have a good sleep. When you wake up the next day, although your head will be splitting, your mind will be mostly recovered, and you can freely command these zombies. Fang Yuan smiled. Yes. I have experience in this area. Once I summoned too many zombies and almost fainted on the spot. Hee. Ding Hao laughed. Millimeter. I will be leaving soon, little junior brother. I have acknowledged you. Have a good rest. Wait for me to return. I will bring you to meet Master. By the way, where is that cave of yours? It is at the waist of the mountain, beside a yin pond. It is very easy to find. The yin pond is in the shape of a pentagram, very unique. Ding Hao was overjoyed. He quickly replied, eldest senior brother, do you really not want to come to my cave for a while? No, time is tight. I have a secret mission from my master. Oh no, someone faked his death. There is still a fish that escaped the net. Where? Ding Hao's heart shook. He quickly turned to look. Kai. The next moment, a bone spear pierced through his head. Plop. Ding Hao fell to the ground. A thick spiral bone spear pierced through his head. Blood and brain matter flowed along the spiral carvings, slowly flowing down. His eyes were wide open, his face frozen with disbelief. The smile on Fang Yuan's face gradually disappeared, he became expressionless. He slowly bent down, grabbed Ding Hao's feet, and slowly dragged him to the ruins of the camp. The fire was still burning, the zombies that had lost their master began to jump aimlessly. The corpses lying on the ground attracted them, tempted them. They crawled on the corpses, and began to gnaw and tear. Fang Yuan dragged Ding Hao's corpse, walking through the corpse-strewn battlefield, his ears filled with the sounds of zombies feasting. He threw Ding Hao into the fire, and quietly watched as Ding Hao's corpse slowly melted. The GU worms on his body also let out mournful cries, and were burned to death one by one. Once Shang Xin Ci was recognized by the Shang clan leader, she would be closely investigated by the Shang clan. This battlefield would definitely be of utmost importance. If Ding Hao was unfortunately caught, and interrogated to reveal the truth, then Fang Yuan would be in danger. Even though he was honest, easy to deceive, and a good pawn, compared to Shang Xin Ci, his value was far from enough. Moreover, it was dangerous, it was safest to abandon him. And the GU worms on him also had to be abandoned. As long as Fang Yuan brought them with him, Second Zombie King would be able to find Fang Yuan. Moreover, it would be extremely inconvenient for Fang Yuan to feed the rigid heart GU, and it would also leave traces for the Shang clan's investigation. As for these zombies, after losing their master, they all became ordinary zombies. After they finished gnawing on these corpses, a portion would stay here, while the rest would leave and wander around Mu Bei Mountain in search of blood and food. It was believed that after their treatment, the entire scene would be more realistic. Seeing Ding Hao's corpse burn to ashes, Fang Yuan slowly turned and left. Chapter 262. In the night sky, the crescent moon hung high, the moonlight was like water. Shongshin Ci stood on a rock and looked into the distance, her face full of worry. Brother Hei too, why isn't he back yet? Could something have happened to him? Little Butterfly echoed. How could something happen to him? Don't worry. Bai Ningbing leaned against a withered tree, thinking what was this Fang Yuan up to again? Time passed bit by bit. Shongshin Ci became increasingly anxious, her brows furrowed tightly. Bai Ningbing also felt something was amiss. It had been at least 15 minutes. Did something really happen to Fang Yuan? She did not care about Fang Yuan's life or death. What she cared about was the young Jiyu in Fang Yuan's hands. She could not help but feel a trace of anxiety in her heart. Half of this anxiety came from Fang Yuan's disappearance, while the other half came from the helplessness in Bai Ningbing's heart. Fang Yuan's cultivation was getting stronger and stronger. With the young Jiyu in his hands, Bai Ningbing had to hold back in order to deal with Fang Yuan. That is, if Fang Yuan acted shamelessly, she would not be able to find a way to deal with him. After traveling with Fang Yuan, she knew what Fang Yuan's character was like. Fang Yuan's cultivation was getting closer to rank 3, the agreed time was approaching. Bai Ningbing became increasingly anxious. Just as the three were discussing on how to rush back to support Fang Yuan, the latter finally appeared on the mountain path. Shongshin Ci let out a sigh of relief, but when Fang Yuan walked in front of her, her heart jumped again. Brother Hei too, you're injured again. Fang Yuan purposely added a few more wounds on his body. He inhaled a breath of cold air. You guys just left and a green-haired zombie came. Luckily I ran fast. Let's go quickly, it might be chasing us now. Hearing his words, the other three naturally did not dare to stay for long. They hurried through the night. At this point, Fang Yuan's goal was achieved. He behaved himself along the way. After passing Mu Bei Mountain, they arrived at Twin Generals Mountain. This mountain was a pair of twin peaks, separated by a cliff valley in the middle, facing each other from a distance, giving off a majestic aura. Without the protection of the caravan, it was very difficult for the four of them to walk through the forest. Fortunately, the Blood Tear Mountain was just beyond the Twin Generals Mountain. Blood Tear Mountain had the Zhao family village, and it was no longer a barren mountain. There were signs of human habitation. The most difficult part of the trade route had already been passed, and the danger was greatly reduced. Fang and Bai were wanted by the Bai clan, so they naturally did not go to the Zhao clan. The four of them didn't stop. After passing the Blood Tear Mountain, they passed the Thousand Cavern Mountain, the Giant Mountain, and the Green Algae Mountain. During this period, Fang Yuan's cultivation rose from rank 2 upper stage to peak stage. During the whole journey, they only stopped at a remote village for a short while to resupply. The closer they got to Shongliang Mountain, the wider the mountain path, and the more pedestrians there were. Finally, one day, Shongliang Mountain appeared before their eyes. Phew, is that Shongliang Mountain? Shongshin Ci placed her hand on her eyebrows to block the sunlight. She gazed into the distance and exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Miss, we are finally here. Xiao Dai laughed and shook Shongshin Ci's arm excitedly. Bai Ningbing was silent, and only watched. When we reach Shongliang Mountain, we will part ways. Miss Zhong, I have already repaid your kindness. Fang Yuan said. Ah! Xiao Dai exclaimed. She didn't expect Fang Yuan to say this, and stood on the spot at a loss. Shongshin Ci's expression changed. She looked at Fang Yuan with her beautiful eyes, and her eyelashes couldn't help but tremble. These days, although Fang Yuan was quiet, he had already become her pillar of support. Now that he was going to leave, Shongshin Ci immediately felt an emptiness in her heart, and she felt very disappointed. All good things must come to an end. Fang Yuan sighed. Indeed. Shongshin Ci pursed her lips tightly, and felt a little breathless. After spending these days together, she understood Fang Yuan's character. This was a man who meant what he said and had a firm will. Let's go, this place isn't very safe yet. We will part ways at the city gate. Fang Yuan took the lead. The atmosphere of the group fell to a freezing point. Even the chattering Xiao Dai didn't say a word. The closer they got to Shongclan City, the closer they would part ways. Shongshin Ci's footsteps unconsciously slowed down. Shongclan City was her destination. Logically speaking, success was close at hand, but now, she would rather not reach Shongclan City. But the journey was ultimately limited. They arrived at the foot of Shongliang Mountain. The tall city gate of Shongclan City was right in front of them. It was time to part ways. Fang Yuan stared deeply at Shongshin Ci. He nodded and said 2 words. Take care. These 2 simple words caused Shongshin Ci's body to shake. Fang Yuan turned and left. Wait. Shongshin Ci gathered her courage and suddenly said. In front of the city gate of Shongclan City, people were coming and going, it was very lively. Shongshin Ci's beautiful eyes stared at Fang Yuan, the crowd around her was surging. We will meet again. Benefactor, in your heart, you have repaid the debt of gratitude. But in my heart, you have saved me time and time again. Your kindness is as deep as the ocean and as heavy as a mountain. Benefactor, you said it before, a drop of water should be repaid with a spring of water. I will repay you. The young girl's tone was firm, revealing her determination. Fang Yuan smiled at her and turned to leave, his figure gradually fading into the crowd. Shongshin Ci stood on the spot for a long time. Missy, they are so heartless, leaving just like that. Xiao Dai walked over and held her arm. They don't want to implicate us. Even in Shongliang Mountain, their demonic path identity cannot be exposed. Shongshin Ci had a kind heart and always thought of others in a positive light. So that's it. Xiao Dai realized. Although they are demonic GU masters, they are good people. I have decided, I will make a name for myself in Shongclan City. With my talent, I will definitely make a name for myself. Although I am a mortal and cannot cultivate, I can hire GU masters to do things for me. In the future, I will definitely repay their kindness. Yes. Missy, I believe you. Strange, since you protected Shongshin Ci along the way, why did you break up on purpose when we reached Shongliang Mountain? I have to remind you, we don't have investigative GU worms, there are so many people in Shongliang City, don't go overboard if you want to play hard to get. If we lose them, we would be shooting ourselves in the foot, that would be a huge joke. Bai Ningbing stood beside Fang Yuan and reminded him with a sneer. Fang Yuan ignored him and watched Shongshin Ci and Xiao Dai walk into the city before retracting his gaze. According to his previous life's memories, the moment Shongshin Ci entered Shongliang City, Shongclan leader sensed her bloodline. But to confirm and investigate, the domineering Shongclan leader put all the members of the caravan that Shongshin Ci joined under house arrest for investigation and interrogation. After finding out the truth and confirming Shongshin Ci's true identity, Shongclan leader generously compensated the caravan with twice the amount of goods. Shongshin Ci went from a mortal girl to the beloved daughter of Shongclan leader. This caused a huge commotion and became an interesting topic. Thus, he had to part ways with Shongshin Ci. In Fang Yuan's aperture, there were too many GU that could not see the light of day, especially spring-autumn cicada. Once he was investigated and his aperture was searched, he would be in big trouble. In a normal village, Fang Yuan was not worried about being exposed. Because usually, the clan leader with the highest cultivation was only rank 4. But here, Shongclan leader was rank 5, but not the highest. Shongclan had a supreme elder with rank 6 cultivation. If his consciousness entered Fang Yuan's aperture, no matter how well spring-autumn cicada was hidden, it would be discovered. There was another benefit to bidding farewell. In Shongshin Ci's heart, it would make it seem like he had no desires and did not covet anything from her, deepening the impression that he was just repaying her kindness. In the future, when he meets Shongshin Ci again, he would gain her trust. Actually, the fastest way to form a close relationship with Shongshin Ci was to have sex with her. Fang Yuan could feel that Shongshin Ci had a good impression of him. If he took her virginity, this future Shongclan leader would fall in love with him. Although Fang Yuan was ugly, his charisma had already moved Shongshin Ci's heart. He knew that if he made a request, Shongshin Ci would not reject him. But he could not use this method. Once he did so, he would be Shongclan's son-in-law, and would be kidnapped to Shongclan's war chariot. Fang Yuan could no longer act as he pleased, his every move would be watched by others, his hands and feet would be tied, and even his cultivation would have to be suppressed. If his cultivation increased too quickly, the bone-flesh unity GU would be exposed. Once the bone-flesh unity GU was exposed, it would cause a commotion in the world, attracting the greed of all parties. Fang Yuan was very clear: the bone-flesh unity GU's terrifying value, even Shang clan could not monopolize it. If spring-autumn cicada was also exposed, those rank 6 GU masters that were rarely seen, and even rank 7 GU masters would jump out one after another. After reaching rank 6, a person's battle strength would change, and every GU master would have the strength to contend against an entire clan. Once he had sex with Shang Xin Ci, after Shang Xin Ci confirmed his identity, be it her or Shang clan leader, they would both find Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was also a demonic GU master, with an unknown origin. Investigations and interrogations were unavoidable. If he escaped, he would have to face Shang clan's pursuit and arrest warrant. This was on a completely different level from Bai clan's arrest warrant. Bai clan itself was in a precarious situation, and had no power, while Shang clan was one of the overlords of southern border. By then, Fang Yuan would only have one choice, and that was to escape southern border. Shang Yangfei sat cross-legged in the air, his whole body bathed in flames. The flames were scarlet like blood, quietly burning in the dark void. As Shang clan leader, he was occupied with clan affairs every day, and did not have much time to cultivate. But even so, with his unparalleled aptitude and comprehension, he was able to push his cultivation to rank 5 upper stage, and was only a step away from peak stage. Today's cultivation was about to end. The blood flames slowly faded, slowly converging, and finally returning to Shang Yangfei's long red hair. Without the light of the fire, darkness gradually spread, becoming the master of this place. But suddenly, Shang Yangfei opened his eyes, his pupils were blood red, his gaze like lightning, piercing through the darkness. Chapter 263. Shong Yang Fei willed and vanished into the darkness. When he reappeared, he was already in Shong Clan's outer city. Noisy voices entered his ears. There were all sorts of stalls lining both sides of the street. The passers-by only saw a flash of blood flame as a handsome black-robed man with blood-red hair appeared out of nowhere. "Oh my God, that scared me. Who is this? He dares to abuse GU worms in Shong Clan City?" Many people looked at him in bewilderment. Only a few recognized Shong Yang Fei, but they did not dare to believe it. Shong Yang Fei did not care about these gazes. Following the bloodline connection, his sharp gaze landed on Shong Xin Ci. The two girls were standing in front of a stall. "Missy, this hairpin is beautiful." Xiao Dai took out a jade hairpin from the stall and placed it on Shong Xin Ci's hair. Shong Xin Ci forced a smile. After leaving Fang Yuan, she was in low spirits. Xiao Dai, on the other hand, was captivated by the bustling scene of the city and became lively again. Suddenly, Shong Xin Ci sensed something and turned around. She saw Shong Yang Fei at the first moment. In the crowd, the black-robed red-haired Shong Yang Fei stood out like a crane among chickens, extremely conspicuous. But what attracted Shong Xin Ci was not his appearance, but a mysterious connection and calling that originated from her bloodline. Without saying a word, the moment Shong Xin Ci saw Shong Yang Fei, she knew this middle-aged man's identity. This was her father. Father. To Shong Xin Ci, this word was so mysterious and so distant. It contained so much grief and sorrow, and had accumulated so much grief. When she was young, she had asked her mother countless times about her father. But her mother remained silent. And now, she finally saw her father. "So this was the reason Mother wanted me to come to Shong Clan City before she died," she realized at once, tears falling down uncontrollably. The moment Shong Yang Fei saw Shong Xin Ci, he thought of her mother and understood her identity. Similar, they were too similar. This child's gentleness was exactly the same as hers. Shong Yang Fei's heart ached. He seemed to see her again. That was on a misty spring afternoon. The willows by the lotus pond swayed with the wind. Under the shabby eaves, Shong Clan young master Shong Yang Fei met a Zhong Clan young lady who was hiding from the rain. A gifted scholar and a beautiful woman, love at first sight. They poured out their hearts and pledged their love to each other. However, there was nothing one could do about the affairs of the world. Rivers and mountains and beauties were like fish and bear's paw. How could one have both? The young Shong Yang Fei's heart was burning with a strong flame. This flame originated from a man's natural ambition for power and authority. Between ambition and tenderness, between responsibility and freedom, between the pressure of a powerful enemy and the promise of a beautiful woman, he finally chose the former and gave up on the latter. Thus, he defeated his brothers and sisters and ascended to the throne of Shong Clan leader. Thus, he became a rank 5 GU master and had countless beauties. Now, he had many sons and daughters. So, he could not find her, because Zhong Clan and Shong Clan had been enemies for generations. When one was in the Jianghu, one had no choice. The identity of the patriarch had helped him, but it had also shackled him. The king's every move would cause the winds and clouds to change, and he would receive the attention of the world. As the Shong Clan leader, how could he ignore the clan's influence because of his personal feelings? These years, he had tried to convince himself, hiding his guilt and uneasiness, using righteousness and responsibility to numb himself. He thought he had forgotten everything, but when he suddenly saw Shong Xin Ci, those memories in the deepest part of his heart, those tenderness, came pouring down like spring rain, enveloping his heart. At this moment, his heart was in turmoil, surging. Blood was thicker than water. Kinship turned into a long river. Shame turned this long river into a sea, instantly drowning and engulfing him. He took a light step forward, disappearing on the spot and appearing in front of Shong Xin Ci. Xiao Dai cried out in shock. The surrounding people cast shocked gazes. But the two involved did not sense it. What is your name?" Shong Yang Fei tried to speak. His voice was magnetic and filled with warmth. Shong Xin Ci did not reply. Tears streamed down from her beautiful eyes. She took a step back, tightly pursing her lips as she stared at Shong Yang Fei, her gaze showing stubbornness. It was this man who hurt Mother's heart. It was this man who caused me to suffer discrimination and bullying since young. It was this man who captivated mother's dreams. Even before she died, she was still thinking about him. It was this man, he is my father. At this moment, her emotions were surging, countless emotions mixed together, forming a violent whirlpool that swallowed her mind. She fainted. Missy. Xiao Dai, who was suppressed by Shong Yangfei's aura, suddenly woke up and screamed. But Shong Yangfei was faster than her, pulling Shong Xinci into his embrace. Who dares to violate the city rules, using GU worms? Do you want to go to jail? A group of city guards sensed something was amiss, cursing as they rushed over. Ah, Lord Clan Leader. Seeing Shong Yangfei, their expressions changed, kneeling on the ground. The entire street was in an uproar. You are actually Shong Clans. Xiao Dai stammered, unable to speak. Shong Yangfei grabbed Xiao Dai's arm, blood flames flashed, and the three disappeared. Line up, one by one. To enter Shong Clan City, each person has to pay 10 yuan stone. Once inside, do not misuse GU worms, violators will be sent to jail for at least 7 days. The guards stationed outside the city shouted. On the wall of the city gate, there were many wanted posters. Some of the wanted posters were already old and yellowed. They were covered up, and only a corner of them was visible. Some wanted posters were brand new and were casually pasted on the wall. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing followed the crowd, getting closer to the city gate, and indeed found a wanted poster, issued by Clan Village. By Clan Village. Seeing this, Fang Yuan could not help but snort. Please stop. The city guard arrived in front of Fang and Bai. The two wore ordinary clothes, looking like commoners. Bai Ningbing pulled down her straw hat. This is 20 yuan stone. Fang Yuan was not nervous, handing over a money bag. After the guard checked, he immediately gave way. Although the city wall next to him was densely packed with wanted posters, it was convenient to look at and compare them. But he did not even glance at them. Those wanted posters were nothing more than a show. Shong Clan prioritized profits. As long as one could pay yuan stone, they could enter the city. Every day, large numbers of demonic GU masters would pass under the guards' eyes. Everyone had a tacit understanding. The loot that the demonic GU masters robbed would be sold in Shong Clan City. At the same time, if they wanted to replenish their GU worms, Shong Clan City was the best choice. It could be said that the demonic GU masters were one of the biggest pillars of Shong Clan City's prosperity. Of course, the demonic GU masters could not be too brazen, entering the city with great fanfare. After all, Shong Clan City was a righteous sect, they had to consider their image. The two walked past the tall city gate, and saw a wide street. The street was crowded with people, with tall and straight green trees planted on both sides of the road. Sunlight shone on the trees, and all kinds of noodle stalls, xiaobing, tofu pudding, vegetables and jewelry vendors were all huddled under the trees, setting up all kinds of stalls. The two walked for a while, and on both sides of the street, there were tall bamboo buildings, yellow mud houses, or brick houses with white walls and grey tiles. Shops, restaurants, inns, and blacksmiths appeared in front of them. Brother, do you need a place to stay? Our place is very cheap, only half a yuan stone per night. A middle-aged woman walked up, her face full of smiles. Fang Yuan stared at her, and walked away without saying a word. His appearance was frightening, the middle-aged woman's heart jumped, and did not dare to pester him anymore, shifting her target to Bai Ningbing. Brother, it is not easy to be outside. Our inn is good, we even have little girls at night. You want to go to the brothel street, that is not cheap. We mortals trade our lives for money in the outside world. Our hard-earned money won't make a splash in those places. Our inn's little girls are the best, cheap. Some were ripe peaches, and some were so tender that water could be squeezed out of them. What kind do you want, brother? The middle-aged woman lowered her voice, her expression ambiguous. She looked at Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's dressing, and mistook them for mortals. Bai Ningbing's forehead was filled with black lines. Scram! She snorted, her voice chilling to the bone. The middle-aged woman's expression changed, her body stiffened, and she stopped on the spot. So it is a female. Ha ha ha, big sister Zhong, "You must have made a mistake this time." The surrounding people who were also trying to pull people up started to clamor. The middle-aged woman could only smile. Along the way, Bai Ningbing had improved greatly in terms of disguise. Even the experienced customers mistook her. Four Seasons Restaurant. An hour later, Fang Yuan stopped in front of a 5-storied building. This building had white walls and black tiles, vermilion doors and pillars. The smell of wine wafted in the air, and the aroma of food permeated the air. It was a famous restaurant in Shongklan City. "Two customers, please come in." The waiter was very good at business. Seeing Fang and Bai, he hurriedly walked over and invited them. The two had walked for half a day, climbing up the mountain. They were hungry, so they entered the restaurant. "Two customers, please sit here." The waiter led the way. Fang Yuan frowned slightly. "This hall is too noisy, let's go upstairs." The waiter immediately showed a difficult expression. "I won't hide it from you. There are indeed private rooms upstairs, but they are only open to GU masters." Fang Yuan snorted, sending out a portion of snow silver primeval essence. The waiter hurriedly bowed. "I have eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please go upstairs." At the entrance of the stairs, the waiter stopped, and a young and beautiful girl with a sweet appearance immediately walked over, saying in a sweet voice, "Two lords, may I know which floor you want to go to? Our Four Seasons restaurant has 5 floors. The first floor is for mortals, the second floor is for rank 1 GU masters, and the third floor is for rank 2 GU masters, with a 20% discount. The fourth floor is for rank 3 GU masters, with a 50% discount. The fifth floor is for rank 4 GU masters, with a free reception." Fang Yuan laughed. "Let's go to the fourth floor." Chapter 264. Steamed lamb, roasted duck, steamed 8 treasure pig, glutinous rice stuffed duck, stir-fried carp, assorted intestines, sesame butter rolls, honey yam, shredded fresh peach, 8 treasure ding, steamed bamboo slices, scarlet lips, camel hump, deer antler, bear paw, 3 fresh cassava soup, beeswax pork knuckle, 3 fresh shark's fin. After a while, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing sat in a private room on the 3rd floor. In front of them was a table full of delicious dishes. Fang Yuan took a pair of bamboo chopsticks and casually ate a few mouthfuls. He first ate the steamed bamboo slices, refreshing and invigorating. Then he ate a piece of shredded fresh peach, sweet but not greasy. Then he took the bear paw, tender and tasty. The steamed lamb was also crispy and tender. With some seasoning, the taste was even better. Bai Ningbing drank a mouthful of the 3 fresh cassava soup. Her mouth was filled with saliva and the fragrance lingered in her mouth. Her appetite was also aroused. After being with you for so many days, it's rare to see you so generous. While eating, she did not forget to mock Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan smiled and did not reply. He knew Bai Ningbing's suspicions and impatience. He had been close to Shongshin Ci, putting in all his effort to protect her. When they reached their destination, they purposely parted. Bai Ningbing could not see through this. And Fang Yuan was already at rank 2 peak stage, only a step away from rank 3. Back then, he and Bai Ningbing had set up a rank 3 agreement, and now they were at the final juncture. But of course Fang Yuan would not keep his promise. In his eyes, honesty was nothing more than a compromise made out of helplessness, or a beautiful disguise, a realistic mask. Fang Yuan was clear about this, and so was Bai Ningbing. So she was impatient. Because she had a premonition that this scoundrel Fang Yuan would definitely break his promise. But she could not do anything to Fang Yuan. The young Ji was in Fang Yuan's hands. She had to act cautiously. Now that there was no pursuit from Bai clan, there was no beast tied. Fang and Bai ate at the same table, seemingly harmonious and warm, but in fact, their relationship was extremely tense. If they took another step forward, they would fall apart. And this step was when Fang Yuan officially advanced to rank 3. Once he advanced to rank 3, there would be no room for negotiation between him and Bai Ningbing. They would have to face each other head-on. How should he deal with Bai Ningbing? Fang Yuan pondered as he ate. It was impossible for his cultivation to remain stagnant. There would come a day when the conflict would erupt. The current situation was very delicate. Fang Yuan had the upper hand because he controlled the young Ji, but in fact, Bai Ningbing also had a hold on Fang Yuan's weakness. She had traveled with Fang Yuan and had personally participated in the inheritance of the White Bone Mountain. She had also personally witnessed how Fang Yuan had attracted the beast horde to attack the caravan. She knew too much. Compared with the potential threat of Ding Hao, Bai Ningbing was undoubtedly much more dangerous to Fang Yuan. If we kill Bai Ningbing, we don't have to worry about Shongshin Ci anymore. However, my cultivation wasn't high enough. Perhaps the best time to kill Bai Ningbing would be on the trade route, but at that time, I would still need to borrow her power to ensure my survival. Moreover, Shongshin Ci was beside me, so it would not be easy to make a move. Bai Ningbing has always been secretly on guard against me. She also has the protection of ice skin jade bone, so she could not kill me in one strike. Moreover, her battle awareness is outstanding, and after this period of training, she has become even more ruthless. Fang Yuan's mind was churning, and at the same time, Bai Ningbing was also racking her brains. Ever since I left Qing Maro Mountain, I finally have a chance to breathe. I must obtain the young Ji and turn back into a man. If I directly snatch it, the chances of success are not high, unless I can kill Fang Yuan in an instant. But that scoundrel Fang Yuan, although his cultivation is only at rank 2, his overall battle strength is much higher. He is a freak, his battle experience is incomparably ruthless. Moreover, his thoughts are deep and ruthless, and he does all sorts of evil deeds. There is no morality that can restrain him, and he can do anything. More importantly, I have yet to find out his trump cards. But it is not that I do not have any advantages, his cultivation now depends on me. And I also know a lot of his secrets. Maybe I can use these things to force him to compromise. Use poison Vao Ji, and sign an irrevocable contract with him. Other than that, I can also use plunder GU, miracle hand GU and so on to steal the yang GU. Bai Ningbing was not stupid, she had been patiently observing along the way, thinking of her schemes. The two ate at the same table, separated by only 2 to 3 steps. They looked like good friends, but they were scheming against each other in their hearts. As the external pressure subsided, the conflict between the two of them became more prominent. In the relatively safe environment of Shongclan City, they had the time to think about these things. But the more they thought about it, the more they felt it was troublesome. Fang Yuan did things without any qualms, but wasn't Bai Ningbing the same? In her philosophy of life, it was fine as long as she lived an exciting life. Wait, moral principles? What was that? The two of them were very similar, they both looked down on the world, had strong wills, thirsted for strength, and only believed in themselves. From other people's point of view, they were all damned demons, scum that harmed society, and their deaths were a blessing to the world. Precisely because of this similarity, the two of them felt it was troublesome. The most difficult enemy to deal with was often themselves. More importantly, they had a weakness in each other's hands. If they did not strike first and give the other a chance to breathe, the other side would be finished. The more they thought about it, the more they felt a headache. Bai Ningbing is not easy to deal with. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth, he had too few resources at hand. Fang Yuan has no weakness at all. Bai Ningbing squinted, her gaze cold. The two could not think of any good ideas, and looked at each other at the same time. Their gazes collided in midair, and then looked away. The dishes in front of them were delicious, but their minds were heavy, and they could not taste it. Although there was a 50% discount, it still cost Fang Yuan 15 yuan stone. As expected of Shongclan City, the prices were not cheap. The two filled their stomachs and left the restaurant. Fang Yuan had just walked onto the street when he heard the discussions of the passers-by. Did you know? Just now at the southern gate, Shongclan leader actually appeared. How is that possible? It's true, he came and left quickly, the entire street was in an uproar. Bullshit. What kind of person is Shongclan leader? Why would he appear on the street for no reason? Rumors spread, some said it was Shongyang Fei, others denied it. Fang Yuan chose the eastern gate, while Shongshin Ci entered the southern gate. When this matter reached the eastern gate, it was already distorted beyond recognition. To Bai Ningbing, this was just a small rumor, she did not pay attention to it. The surrounding people quickly started to talk about other topics. But to an observant person like Fang Yuan, it was the clearest piece of information. He could not help but chuckle, it seemed that Shongshin Ci's matter did not deviate from his memories. Now, he just had to wait for the fruit to ripen and fall on his head. Look, that's a flying blue whale, Yi Clan's caravan is here. Suddenly, someone pointed at the sky and shouted. For a moment, the pedestrians on the street all stopped in their tracks at the same time, looking up at the sky. A huge shadow loomed over them. In the sky, a giant blue whale slowly flew over. It was not appropriate to call it flying, it was better to call it swimming. Flying blue whale, this was a giant beast that could roam freely in the sky. It lived above the eastern sea's 9 heavens, it had a gentle and peaceful nature. GU masters often used whale enslavement GU to control it and use it for traveling. The flying blue whale's body was huge, like a small mountain, and the caravan hid inside its body as it flew in the sky. Compared to the caravan traveling in the forest, it was not only less dangerous, but also faster. But the flying blue whale had to eat thousands of kilograms of food every day, unless it was a large clan, they could not afford to raise it. In the whole of southern border, only Yi Clan had a flying blue whale. Yi Clan was one of the overlords of southern border, its status was similar to Shong Clan, and it had countless connections with Eastern Sea's forces. Truly breathtaking. Bai Ningbing sighed softly. She thought back to the Bai Clan village in the past. If this kind of flying blue whale were to fall on the Bai Clan village, the entire Bai Clan village would probably be destroyed. The giant figure moved on Shongliang Mountain, and the flying blue whale slowly landed on one of the mountain peaks. Fang Yuan could see from afar that it opened its mouth, and countless black dots slowly moved out of its mouth. These black dots were Yi Clan's caravan. But the distance was too far, he could not see clearly. Yi Clan's caravan is here, it seems the market is going to be turbulent again. I heard Yi Clan brought a rank 5 GU this time, and is going to auction it on Shongliang Mountain. Yi Clan has connections with Eastern Sea, they must have brought many outer cities of Eastern Sea this time. It is
Fang
worth
Yuan
buying.
and by Ning Bing
Passers-by's
came to a
topic
huge cave.
had already completely
You too want to
shifted
enter
Yi
the inner
Clan's
city.
caravan.
Please
Fang
pay
Yuan
100
and
yuan
by Ning
stone
Bing
each.
continued to
The
walk
GU
upwards.
master guarding
Guiyue
here
village
stretched out
only
his
occupied
hand
a
and
corner of
demanded,
Qingmaro Mountain,
just to enter,
while
we need
Shongklan
100
City
yuan
almost
stone.
covered the whole of
By
Shongliang
Ning Bing
Mountain.
expressed her
In
shock.
southern border,
The space
even
in the
the
number
inner
1
city
clan,
is small.
Wu Clan,
This is to
did not
prevent
have such a
unrelated
large
people
mountain
from
city.
entering. The whole
At the same
Shongklan
time,
City had
it
all
is
kinds of
convenient
buildings
to maintain
bamboo
public
buildings,
order.
mud
The
houses,
GU master
brick houses,
politely explained,
shacks, tree houses, mushroom houses, caves, towers, forts, and so on. When these buildings were mixed together, it was as if Shongliang Mountain had been draped in a layer of colorful clothes. Shongklan City was the center of southern border's trade, it occupied the largest area without a doubt. But if anyone thought this was all of Shongklan City, they would be gravely mistaken. Chapter 265. Fang Yuan paid 200 yuan stone and entered the inner city with Bai Ning Bing. Although the inner city was built in the mountains, the streets were wide enough to allow 10 carriages to travel side by side. Once they entered, the human traffic decreased to less than half of the outer city. But GU masters could be seen everywhere, rank 1 GU masters were everywhere, rank 2 GU masters mixed in, and occasionally 1 or 2 rank 3 GU masters. Ordinary mortals were few in number. After all, to enter this place, Each person had to pay 100 yuan was attached to the walls on both sides of the street, were unwilling to spend this money even if they had servants to serve them. Their rhizomes were dark blue, the lighting in the inner city were wide and large, emitting a faint blue charcoal burned for a long time and did not produce any smoke. There were tens of thousands of leaves, and Bai walked an average of 100 steps, and they because would see of the large number of vine leaves, with a pile of charcoal was burning inside, and water vapor Although spread. The heat emitted by the charcoal was not to the ground, with so many charcoal burning continuously, the moonlight refracted in the city was still forming a light mist. Unlike the outer city, where there were all sorts of buildings, in a fairyland, it was very messy on the street. The buildings here had a unified structure and looked similar, using red artificial lawns, flower beds, all sorts of side roads extended out from the two sides of the street. There were even fewer people every 500 steps on the street. Rank 2 GU masters had already become the mainstream. The surface of the pillar had a spiral stone staircase that went around the pillar, just the 200 railing on the outside at the entrance was a stone staircase. The most obvious feeling was that the streets of the fifth inner city, the inner city was not a normal city, but here it was much quieter. From the top to bottom, deeper there were countless streets and arrived at the city all gate, connected to each other, without a token, extending in all directions. If you want to enter third inner city, you will have to pay 600 towards the mountain. This was not their destination. The master leader was already at a certain place. There was a Yuan handed over the Yuan stone, masters and guarding it had higher cultivation, and the defenses was different from fourth inner city. Stop. Do you have construction materials? The guard stopped Fang and Bai. This stone was widely used by GU masters to refine different people and could emit bright starlight in the darkness. Fang Yuan third inner city used star stones. Of course he did not have a token. Not only the buildings, in that case, even the streets were 200 yuan stones made of star stones. The guard said, looking around, Fang Yuan there was handed over the yuan stone, and one's vision was let them in without the obstruction of the arrived at fourth inner city. The air was also very fresh. Mountain had been under Shongklan's management there were pavilions with red walls. The entire interior of the mountain had been remodeled by Shongklan. Famous trees were transplanted, buildings were built, mountains were areas were laid out, and even spring water was drawn in. The inner city was extremely large. There were few people from the inside to the outside. It was quiet and pleasant, divided into like 5 districts. So rich and imposing was also called the central inner city. It was the center of Shongklan's political in front of them was and also an important military location. Shongklan was the wealthiest clan in southern border, also known as the family city. That a single leg hair was thicker than a person's waist to stay in. Although this was an exaggeration, had an elegant environment and fresh air. Shongklan's wealth was like a mountain. The whole of Shongklan was the middle area. Three-dimensional mountain. The fifth inner city was the low-end businesses were spread all over southern border. Was the outer city. How much wealth there was a huge flow of people. No outsider compared to the inner city. But the management of the loading and unloading of goods of building this third inner city. This kind of building combined wealth was like a termite hill on earth. At the termite hill was 4 to 10 meters high, and the ants lived inside. Occasionally, the tiny tunnels were interconnected, and it was extremely intricate. As soon as the two of them entered the fourth inner city, they felt the air was moist and the temperature was dropping. The fourth inner city was a grade higher than the fifth inner city. Not only was the entrance tax doubled, but it was also reflected in other aspects. First of all, they did not use cheap charcoal, but planted a large amount of rank 1 grass GU. Its name was Moonlight Creeper. This was Fang Yuan's destination. If he went deeper, he would reach second inner city. But to enter second inner city, it was not a matter of yuan stone, he needed a token issued by Shongklan. And this token had to be of a high standard. Tongyu shop. Fang Yuan looked at the signboard, and walked in. This was a shop that sold GU worms. Esteemed guests, please have a seat inside. A young girl in charge of reception walked over and said softly. Her aura was revealed, she was actually a rank 1 GU master. Although Fang and Bai were wearing mortal clothes, one was ugly and one was in dire straits, this GU master girl still had a respectful attitude, showing her outstanding character. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were led into a private room. This was an individual room, with sandalwood tables and chairs, carved beams and painted rafters, and paintings hung on the pure white walls. The words were like dancing dragons and phoenixes, the strokes strong and firm. Through the window, one could see the courtyard, with green trees and red flowers, and the chirping of birds. The young Gu master girl served 2 cups of fragrant tea, and left. As soon as she left, an old man walked in. "I wonder if esteemed guests, are you here to buy or sell?" The old man was a rank 2 Gu master. He cupped his fists and asked with a smile. "I want to buy and also sell." Fang Yuan raised his cup as he answered. The old man laughed, and 2 rays of light flew out of his body, floating in front of Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. They were 2 bookworms. The bookworm was only a rank 1 Gu worm, but it was extremely precious, comparable to the liquor worm. Once it appeared in the market, it would be snatched up by people. Thus, it was often priceless. It was shaped like a silkworm chrysalis, and although it had a head, chest, and abdomen, its body was like a spindle, round and cute. Its whole body was pure white, and its surface seemed to be coated with a layer of enamel, giving it a glossy shine. Touching it, it was smooth and moist, like a high-quality porcelain. Bookworm was a storage-type Gu, similar to the Tusita flower. The difference was, Tusita flower stored objects, while bookworm stored intangible knowledge and information. Even if it self-destructed, it would only explode into a harmless white light. "Please take a look," the old Gu master said. The 2 bookworms were refined by him, and could be considered as being lent to Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. Fang and Bai each mobilized a portion of snow silver primeval essence, injecting it into the bookworm. The bookworm immediately turned into a white light, entering between the 2's eyebrows. Immediately, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's minds gained a wealth of information. These contents were deeply imprinted in their minds, as if they had been repeatedly recited. Bai Ningbing was secretly tongue-tied. Tongyu shop sold tens of thousands of Gu worms. Seeing Fang Yuan there were so many of them that it dazzled one's eyes. Essence. Among his them, tone became there was no lack of rare Gu worms. Fang Yuan like waved his hand. Liquor worm. "No hurry. From low to high, Gu worms it covered rank 1 to rank 5. So, he summoned a bone spear. There were no rank 6 The old man was not surprised. Every Gu there were many who had a detailed introduction explaining their effects. But there were also many who sold even a price, and for some higher ranked, rare and precious Gu worms, and with just a glance, there were all kinds of a trace of astonishment. This meant he had never seen a bone spear had to have the token issued by Shang Clan. Of course, he had never seen one before to buy these Gu worms. This was grey-bone scholars' unique Gu needed to buy large amounts of sold in the market. After roughly looking customer, he retracted his mind and called out the old man's expression, returning it to the old man as he cupped his fist. Although he had tens of thousands of yuan drinking a mouthful of tea, there was still a huge gap to buy these. This is called bone spear Gu. The crucial point was not just money. Some of the Gu that he planned to buy also had token standards. The old man tested it on the spot. What do you like? Muttering, "If you buy in large quantities, although it is only rank 1 and is not give you a corresponding discount, but its attack is not bad, and it is unique. It is worth this price." Chapter 266. 310. Seeing the old man's figure, Fang Yuan raised his eyebrows. Liquor worm's market price was 580 yuan stone, bookworm was slightly higher sometimes, reaching 600. Black and white boar Gu was also 600 yuan stone. But these Gu were all rare rank 1 Gu, and because they were few in number, their prices were high. An ordinary rank 1 Gu was around 250 yuan stone. And a consumable rank 1 Gu like the vitality leaf was 50 yuan stone per piece. Setting the bone spear Gu's price at 310 was already not bad. The old man from Tongyu shop did not try to lower the price. But even so, Fang Yuan had to raise the price as much as possible. To him, haggling was a skill that he had mastered in his previous life. After a few words, the old man had no choice but to raise the price by another 10 yuan stone. 1 bone spear Gu, 320 yuan stone. "All right, let's go with this price." Fang Yuan waved his hand, and a bunch of light spots flew out of his aperture. 56 bone spear Gu floated in front of the old man, scaring him a little. So many. He immediately regretted. Every increase of 10 yuan stone, he would have to pay close to 600 yuan stone. In fact, when Fang Yuan was at Bai Jiu Mountain, he had taken 200 bone spear Gu. But along the way, due to the lack of food, most of them had died, and only this much was left. 56 GU, that is 17,920 yuan stone. I will order someone to bring the yuan stone over. The old man kept the bone spear GU. No hurry, let's look at this GU first. Fang Yuan smiled, and summoned a spiral bone spear GU. This is a rank 2 GU, it seems to be the bone spear GU. The old man showed a shocked expression. That's right, after the bone spear GU fusion is completed, you can obtain the spiral bone spear GU. It has a penetrating force and is quite powerful. Its power is quite impressive. Fang Yuan introduced in a timely manner. The old man tested it, and it was indeed as Fang Yuan said. He quoted a price of 780 yuan. After a few rounds of bargaining, Fang Yuan raised the price to 800 yuan per pill. He had taken good care of these spiral bone spear GU, there were 20 in his aperture. In this way, it was sold for a price of 16,000 primal stones. Let's look at this GU, 7,000 yuan stone. Fang Yuan quoted the price and took out the bone spike GU. He continued with the introductions. The old man held the bone spike GU, but did not dare to test it carelessly, smiling bitterly. This GU is a rank 3 GU, but it deals 1,000 damage to the enemy and 800 to oneself. When the bone spikes pierced through the flesh, it would definitely be extremely painful. To use it, a healing GU was needed. 7,000 is too high, 6,500 yuan stones, this number is just right. Let's not haggle. I'll give you a little more. Let's make it $6,700, Fang Yuan said. In the previous 2 rounds of confrontation. This made the old man realize how troublesome Fang Yuan was. He wiped the sweat on his forehead and gritted his teeth. Deal. That will be 40,620 yuan stone. Fang Yuan's eyes turned as he reported the exact number. The old man suddenly bent his back. He bowed towards Fang Yuan. Esteemed customer, I have never seen these GU worms you want to sell after so many years of managing the shop. Moreover, they are all interconnected. Layer by layer, they seem to be of the same origin. May I ask, esteemed customer, do these GU belong to the same inheritance? Fang Yuan nodded. Anyone with discerning eyes can tell. That's right, I inherited an inheritance by chance and obtained these GU worms. The old man's expression turned joyful. In that case, esteemed customer must have the corresponding GU refinement recipe. Esteemed customer's luck is truly enviable. Why don't you sell these recipes to my shop as well? Fang Yuan frowned. The rarer something was, the greater its value. Bone spear GU, spiral bone spear GU, bone spike GU, not only he had them, Bai clan also had them. So be it if he sold them. But he had obtained the complete fusion recipe from Flesh Sack Secret Chamber. It was the only one in the world. Such things could not be sold easily. As long as they are GU worms and recipes below rank 6, they are all valuable. But, how much yuan stone can you offer? Fang Yuan thought about it and asked. As long as the price was right, this recipe could be sold. He needed money. The 40,000 yuan stone he obtained from selling bone spear GU and the others was far from enough for his plan. The old man raised 2 fingers, 200,000 yuan stone. Fang Yuan had sold so many GU worms, but it was only 40,000. A formless recipe, however, could be sold for 200,000. Teaching a man to fish was better than teaching him to fish. The method to catch fish was far more valuable than the fish itself. Because being able to catch fish meant that there would be an endless supply of fish. To Tongyu shop, with the recipe, it meant that bone spear GU and the others could be produced continuously. It would become a long-term trading point, with no other shops. Thus, the price of the white bone recipe would naturally be much higher. But Fang Yuan sneered, 200,000, you dare to offer this price? The old man's face turned red, this price was indeed too low. He immediately said, 300,000. Fang Yuan shook his head and was about to leave. The old man gritted his teeth, 500,000. This price is more reasonable. I will sell it to you for 680,000. Fang Yuan leisurely sipped his tea. The old man had a bitter expression, 500,000 is already my highest price. Esteemed customer, you sold so many bone spear GU, we can actually hire a recipe master to reverse engineer your recipe. It is already not bad to be able to sell it for 500,000. Fang Yuan shook his head, his attitude firm. This recipe in my hands is unique in the world. At least 650,000, otherwise I will not sell. You are not the only shop in Shongclan City, am I right? Esteemed customer, you might not know this, but although there is more than one shop in Shongclan City, they are all under the jurisdiction of my young manager. Esteemed customer, if you cannot sell it here, you will not be able to sell it anywhere else. If you do not sell the recipe, I am afraid you will not be able to sell these GU worms. The old man cupped his fists, his tone was soft but firm, containing a hint of threat. Oh, then I would like to try. Fang Yuan retrieved all his GU worms and stood up to leave. Esteemed customer, I will advise you nicely, please stay and sell it. The old man urged him to stay. Fang Yuan ignored him and walked out of the room. Bai Ningbing could only follow closely behind. Esteemed customer, you will definitely come back to me. The old man sneered. After Fang and Bai left Tongyu shop. The moment Fang and Bai left, the old man came to the secret room and activated his Primeval essence, shooting out a GU. This GU turned into a ray of light and entered the bronze mirror on the wall of the secret room. Ripples appeared on the surface of the bronze mirror, and a young man's face appeared. Subordinate greets young master. Seeing this young GU master, the old man quickly knelt on the ground. What do you want? This young man was one of Shongclan's young masters, Shong Ji Bao. He was only 18 years old, the prime of his youth. But he had been indulging in wine and women for a long time, his face was thin, his skin was pale and his eyes were lifeless. The old man told him about Fang Yuan's matter. Shong Ji Bao's eyes shone with an excited and sinister light. Very good, he cried. Heaven never bars one's way. I was just worrying about how to keep my young clan leader position, but heaven sent me such a huge gift. I need to get this inheritance. With this great achievement, I will be able to pass this year's evaluation. I will do my best, but I am only in charge of Tongyu shop. The other shops, I will arrange it. Mph. If these two want to sell their GU worms, they can only lower their heads to me. Shong Ji Bao snorted in disdain. 8 Treasures shop. I am sorry, the higher-ups have informed me that you want to sell GU. Please go to Tongyu shop. Yuan Fang building, so it is 2 esteemed guests. If esteemed guests can sell the recipe, everything can be discussed. Stand-alone pavilion. You two are esteemed guests, I am doing business. Why would I chase away my guests? But I have no choice. After going to 3 shops, Fang Yuan did not manage to sell his GU worms. Haha. To think you would suffer such a setback. It seems that old thing was right, this is his territory. Bai Ningbing did not hold back on attacking Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was rejected several times, but his expression was still calm. Shong clan leader Shong Yangfei has many children, but there is only 1 young clan leader position, and 10 young master positions. Every year, Shong clan leader will conduct an evaluation to choose the young clan leader, and get rid of the worst among the 10 young masters. The vacated position will be filled by his other children. Bai Ningbing had a flash of inspiration, so it is like this. This means that this Shong clan young master is either competing for the young clan leader position, or protecting the young master position. Otherwise, he would not make such a big fuss. Fang Yuan clapped. This is Shong clan's 3rd inner city, we cannot use force here. Even if Bai clan's people come to capture us, they cannot do so here. To Shong clan young masters, the restriction is even greater. The evaluation is near, our every move will be watched by others. We are not in a hurry, let's find a place to stay first. Once they reached Shongclan City, they would not have to worry about food. At most, they would raise these bone spear GU for a few more days, and see who can outlast the other. At the same time, first inner city. Did you find out? Shong Yangfei stood by the window, looking at the scenery of the courtyard. This lady is indeed clan leader's flesh and blood. Furthermore, her soul was normal, and she wasn't possessed by someone. We have already contacted Zhong clan's clansman and confirmed her identity. But there is something strange, she came to Shongliang Mountain with a caravan. But we could not find anyone else in the caravan with her. External clan elder Wei Yang reported. Shongshin Ci did not speak, but sighed inwardly. Oh heavens, thank you for giving me a chance to make up for my guilt. I have already let down a woman, I will not let down this daughter of mine. Shongshin Ci sat in front of the table, looking at the rising steam of the tea, her eyes lost focus. From Xiao Dai, she learned of Shong Yangfei's identity. She did not expect her father to be the great Shong clan leader. A man with great authority, every move of his could affect the entire southern border. Then why did he not go and see her mother? Shongshin Ci was naturally intelligent, she quickly understood why Shong Yangfei abandoned her and her mother. But even before her death, her mother still missed him. Shongshin Ci's heart was filled with sorrow and hatred, but most of all, she was at a loss. She did not know how to face this father who suddenly appeared. But it was impossible to escape. Someone knocked on the door. Can I come in? Xiao Dai immediately became nervous. Chapter 267. Shong Yangfei smiled and entered the house. Xiao Dai hurriedly bowed, but Shongshin Ci sat by the table, motionless, not even moving her eyes. Shong Yangfei also sat beside the table, his voice was extremely gentle. How are you feeling now? Shongshin Ci was not an unruly person, she stood up and took a few steps back, bowing lightly. Shong clan leader need not worry too much, I fainted because I was too emotional. I have recovered now, I can hear and see clearly, I am fine now. Shong Yangfei quickly waved his hand. Hehe, Siya, you are fine, sit down and talk. Shongshin Siya only called him Shong clan leader. Such a deliberately distant tone made his heart ache. Shongshin Siya sat down again. Xiao Dai reacted and poured some tea for Shong Yangfei. Tell me, how have you been living these years? Shong Yangfei gently looked at Shongshin Siya. I'm doing okay. Shongshin Siya's answer was brief. It was obvious that she did not want to talk about it further. On the other hand, Xiao Dai grumbled, Miss has always been ostracized by the clan since she was young. After Madam passed away, they became even more aggressive. They even wanted to annex our family's property. They were too hateful. Master, you have to uphold justice for Miss. Little Butterfly, pour your tea properly. Shongshin Siya rolled her eyes at Little Butterfly. Xiao Dai immediately shut up and stopped talking. Shong Yangfei suffered a setback but was not angry at all. His heart was filled with tender affection. He smiled. By the way, how did you get here? It's a long way from the Zhong family to here. Master, you almost couldn't see the young miss. Our journey this time was filled with danger. There were thousands of people in the caravan, but only the 4 of us were left. Fortunately, we met the help of Sir He Tu and Sir White Cloud, otherwise. Xiao Dai couldn't hold it in and blurted out. Xiao Dai. Shongshin Siya glared at Xiao Dai. Xiao Dai could only shut her mouth again. Shong Yangfei memorized the 2 names He Tu and Bai Yun as he smiled and said, From now on, you will live here, it is very safe. When you are free, you can take a walk in the courtyard or the streets outside. You've just arrived here, so you're not familiar with the place yet. It's easy for you to get lost. I will send one of your maidservants over. She is familiar with the environment here. I'll be leaving first. You guys cultivate well. Shong Yangfei could tell that Shong Yangfei needed time to adjust himself. He had to give her time and space to adapt. Old Master is such a good person. Although you are the Shong clan leader, you are so kind. Miss, he is your biological father after all. Xiao Dai advised as she watched Shong Yangfei leave. I know. From the first time I saw him, I understood Mother's good intentions. Before Mother died, she told me to come to Shongliang Mountain, but she didn't say anything. Because she wasn't sure if he would recognize me as his daughter. Although he did recognize me now, I didn't feel good about it. Everything happened so suddenly. Miss, no matter what, no matter where you go, Little Butterfly will always be by your side. Little Butterfly sat in front of the table, grabbed Shongshin Siya's hand, and encouraged her. Millimeter. Shongshin Siya nodded, moved, and put her other hand on Xiao Dai's hand. Of course, it would be even better if Miss could stay. After all, this was a Shong clan. Oh my God, glory, splendor, and wealth are at your fingertips, Miss. Even Zhong clan is not fit to carry Shong clan's shoes, Miss. Xiao Dai made a face as she shouted. You. Shongshin Siya was angry and amused at the same time. She felt helpless towards Xiao Dai. Xiao Dai giggled, her laughter slowly infected Shongshin Siya, dispelling some of the depression in her heart. Shong Yangfei walked out of the room, the smile on his face immediately disappeared. He was dressed in a black robe and had blood-red hair, his face was handsome, his eyes flickered with cold light, his habitually pursed lips revealed his resolute and decisive personality. He was Shong Yangfei, this generation's Shong clan leader. He was vicious and merciless. For the position of clan leader, he had forced 2 brothers and 1 sister to commit suicide. He was decisive in killing. When he had just ascended to the position, a remote village thought it was too far away and attacked a Shong clan's caravan. He stood his ground against the opinions of the masses and spent a huge amount of resources on an expedition, slaughtering everyone in the village. He beheaded all the captives who surrendered, piling up their heads into a small hill, and placed them in front of the elders who opposed the expedition. He was ruthless. After ascending to the position, he consolidated his authority, promoted his trusted aides, and suppressed those who disagreed. At once, he established more than 10 external clan elders. In just 3 years, he was the only voice left in the entire Shong clan's higher-ups. He had great foresight and talent in management. After so many years, Shong clan's caravan had expanded by more than 3 times. More than 100 clans expressed their allegiance to Shang clan, becoming an enormous hidden force. He appointed people based on merit, even his own children were no exception. Originally, Shang clan had 15 young master positions. After he ascended to the position, it was reduced by a third. What was even rarer was that he had outstanding talent with a great aptitude, and while he was in charge of the clan, his cultivation also continued to rise, making others jealous and envious. This was Shang Yangfei, the man who stood at the peak of the southern border's mortals. Subordinate greets Lord Clan Leader. A young female GU master bowed towards him. Tianlan, from today onwards, you will serve Lady Ci with all your heart. Understand? Shang Yangfei said coldly. Subordinate understands. The young girl nodded. When you are around Lady Ci, pay more attention and ask around. Miss Ci may not like to talk much, but the servant girl beside her is very outspoken. She is your breakthrough point. I want you to find out how they came to Shongliang Mountain. Yes, subordinate understands. All right, you can go now. Subordinate takes her leave. Tianlan was an orphan Shang Yangfei adopted. She was loyal and could be used without worry. She was also very capable, and 3 days later, she completed her mission. Hey Tu Bai Yun. Demonic GU Master. Shang Yangfei rubbed his chin. If this is true, I have to thank the two of them properly. But to prevent other possibilities, I need to investigate again. Thinking of this, Shang Yangfei called Wei Yang. Go find these two, one is Hey Tu, the other is Bai Yun, a male and female, demonic GU masters. Their appearance is third in a city. It has already been 3 days. Have those two been living in Nanqiu Garden? Yes, young master. From that day onwards, they have been living in seclusion. At most, they would come out to buy some milk from cows and sheep. Subordinate guesses that the milk is used to feed those GU worms. Damn it. Shang Yaz gritted his teeth, his gaze was like a knife, wishing he could crush Fang and Bai. The evaluation was about to begin, and among the 10 young masters, he was the last. If he did not have any results, he would definitely be eliminated. Shang Yangfei had many children, but there were only 10 young master positions in Shang clan. Between ordinary children and young masters, Shang clan's treatment was like heaven and earth. Young masters were the center of attention, they could control one of Shongliang City's businesses, they had limitless glory and great profits. Young clan leaders were even more incredible. But if they were ordinary children, their treatment was no different from ordinary clansmen. Shang Yaz had already experienced the power of a young master. If he was to return to the life of an ordinary child, he might as well die. Thus, he had to get that inheritance. Not only did he have to get it, he had to lower the price. The lower the price, the better his results would be. But Fang and Bai were stubborn like rocks, not willing to lower their heads to him. If this was 4th in a city or 5th in a city, he could play some tricks and force them to lower their heads. But these two were staying in 3rd in a city. Even if Shang Yaz had 100 guts, he would not dare to use force here. This can't go on, they are wasting time, but I can't. Looks like I have to go personally. Wait. The more Shang Yaz thought, the more restless he became. Finally, he brought a group of confidants to Nanqiu Garden. Nanqiu Garden was a garden, for esteemed guests to stay in. In third inner city, there were no inns, only small gardens like this one. Staying here for a day would cost 30 yuan stone. 10 days would be 300, in a month, it would be close to 1,000 yuan stone. Nanqiu Gardens' price, in third inner city, was considered cheap. Some large gardens cost 100 yuan stone a day. And some special gardens, even if you had yuan stone, you would not be able to stay, you had to have a Shongclan token. In Shongclan City, every inch of land was worth its weight in gold. Especially in third inner city, the prices were very high. When Shong Yaz brought his men to visit, Fang and Bai were playing chess in the pavilion beside the lotus pond. Shong Yaz snorted and said in an indifferent tone, "You two sure are in a good mood, why didn't you go to other shops to ask?" "What is there to ask? Those who want to buy will naturally come here, don't you think so?" Fang Yuan smiled lightly. "You." Shong Yaz was furious. Fang Yuan's attitude made him very unhappy. He gritted his teeth, suppressing his emotions with difficulty, and said arrogantly, "I see that you two have it tough, forget it, 500,000 yuan stone it is. Are you happy now? 500,000 yuan stone? Hihi, not selling. The lowest price is 650,000. Fang Yuan glanced at Shong Yaz, before turning his gaze back to the chessboard. Shong Yaz's eyes squinted, walking a few steps to Fang Yuan, and threatened in a low voice, "You two demonic GU masters, still pretending. I've already investigated your background, this inheritance was snatched from Bai clan, right? I heard you even killed Bai clan's 2 young clan leaders. I advise you to stop while you're ahead, and quickly sell it. Let me tell you, these few days, a Thai clan group has already arrived at Shongliang Mountain, and are investigating your whereabouts. Tell me, if I tell them you are here, what will happen?" "Oh, then go ahead and tell them." Fang Yuan laughed. "You." Shong Yaz pointed at Fang Yuan, unable to endure it anymore. "Let me tell you, 500,000 yuan stone is enough to show my sincerity. Other than selling it to me, do you have any other choice?" "None. This is my territory, you better understand the situation." Right at this time, a light descended from the sky, turning into a GU master. This GU master looked around, and slightly bowed, saying to Fang and Bai, "Sirs He Tu and Bai Yun, I am Wei Yang, under orders from clan leader, I invite you two to second inner city for a chat." What? Lord Father wants to meet them? Shong Yaz felt a bolt of lightning striking him, his eyes opened wide, showing a terrified expression. Chapter 268. Shong Yaz turned pale with fright. Suppressing the price was against the rules. If he was found out, he would be severely punished. This was an organization. Once one was in a high position, they had to follow the rules of the organization. The rules of the organization were used to protect the interests of the upper echelons. Even though many organizations claimed to represent the interests of the majority, it was just a gimmick. Thus, the higher one was, the more they had to follow the rules. In contrast, the middle and lower echelons could be corrupted. Of course, at the upper echelons, the benefits of the individual and the organization were closely intertwined. Often, the organization's benefits represented their own benefits. Shong Yaz was only a fake upper echelon. He was one of the 10 young masters of Shong clan. He was the center of attention, but his true authority came from his father. Thus, he was just a rootless duckweed. This meant that when he violated the rules, the punishment he would receive would be even harsher. Because many people were watching him. Impossible. I had already investigated before coming here, and even spent a lot of yuan stone to buy information on them from Fengyu Manor. These two are demonic GU masters, and are wanted. They are stray dogs. Why would Lord Father summon them? Shong Yaz felt this was unthinkable. It was like a tycoon was making things difficult for two beggars. Suddenly, the imperial edict came. These two beggars were summoned by the emperor. The reason why Shong Yaz dared to suppress Fang Yuan was because he saw that they were alone. He wanted to cover the sky with one hand and do this in secret. No one would know and it would be foolproof. Of course, there were risks in this. But to protect his young master position, Shong Yaz had to take the risk. These two people clearly have no background at all. How did they get involved with father? Damn it, has the world gone crazy? What should I do? If the two of them leak this matter out, my young lord position is definitely finish. Kill them? No, that was courting death. In third inner city, I have no chance. Now that I have father's attention, it is even more impossible. Most importantly, these two bastards, he is rank 3 peak stage. How can I live like this? In an instant, Shong Yaz's thoughts moved like lightning, trying to think of a solution. His eyes moved around, and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. This time, it was too much. Damn it, what else can I do? What else can I do? He roared anxiously in his heart. Shong clan leader is summoning us. What's the reason? Fang Yuan expressed his confusion. Bai Ningbing was even more confused. What was going on? She first suspected that it was Fang Yuan's doing, so she cast a glance at Fang Yuan. However, Fang Yuan's puzzled expression confused her. She couldn't help but think that she and Fang Yuan had always been inseparable. If Fang Yuan wanted to do something, how could he hide it from her? Furthermore, what kind of person was Shong clan leader? He stood at the peak of the mortal world. Even with Bai Ningbing's pride, she had to admit Shong Yangfei's power and influence. But why do I feel like something is wrong, as if I have overlooked something? Wei Yang smiled. Don't worry, if Shong clan wanted to harm you, why would they need to go through so much trouble? This is a friendly invitation. The clan leader is very interested in the two of you. It is our honor to be summoned by Shong clan leader. We can set off immediately. Fang Yuan threw away the chess piece in his hand and stood up. Shong Yaz was anxious. He quickly said, 650,000 yuan stone, we have a deal. Fang Yuan glanced at him and smiled. Sorry, I do not intend to sell the recipe. Shong Yaz's face turned pale, his mouth was dry. He looked at Fang Yuan with a pleading gaze. I was too impatient, please forgive me. The price can be negotiated. After you return, we can discuss in detail, we can have a good talk. Fang Yuan smiled faintly without saying a word. Who would want to talk to you? But temporarily stabilizing this person could prevent him from doing anything out of desperation. It would reduce some trouble. Thus, Fang Yuan nodded. If Shong clan young master is sincere, I will look forward to it. Shong Yaz's expression relaxed, revealing a grateful and joyful expression. It was like a person who was about to fall off a cliff, suddenly grabbing onto a tree on the cliff. All right, I will wait for you. He quickly said. Esteemed guests, please. Wei Yang extended his hand. Please. Following Wei Yang, Fang and Bai arrived at the second inner city. Bai Ningbing was looking forward to the luxurious second inner city, but here, she was shocked and disappointed. The second inner city was mainly made of stone houses. It was extremely simple, even inferior to the fourth inner city. However, she quickly realized something, and her expression became solemn. It had always been, it is difficult to go from extravagance to frugality, but easy to go from frugality to extravagance. Shang clan was as wealthy as a mountain, but abided by simplicity. This was not being stingy, but to maintain the vitality of the entire clan. Wei Yang brought the two to a private residence. Esteemed guests, why don't you have some fruits here? Lord Clan Leader has just come out of closed cultivation and is handling some matters. He will be here soon. This is the Clan Leader's private residence. Please stay here and do not casually walk around. I will take my leave. There was no one in the private residence. Wei Yang left, leaving Fang and Bai here. The two of them waited here for a full 6 hours, but did not even see the shadow of a ghost. Wei Yang said they could have some fruits, but where were they? There wasn't even tea. For the first hour, Fang Yuan sat on a wooden chair with a wide back. For the second hour, he muttered to himself, gradually unable to sit still, showing an anxious expression. By the 6th hour, he was visibly restless and pacing around the house. Mph, who is this Shang clan leader? He wants us to wait here. Where is he himself? Such arrogance. Fang Yuan paced back and forth, his tone indignant. Can you sit down? My eyes are going blurry, can't you just cultivate in peace? Bai Ningbing frowned slightly. This was not like the usual Fang Yuan. This is strange. Do you think Shang clan leader really wants to see us? Fang Yuan frowned. How would I know? I was the one who wanted to ask you. Bai Ningbing rolled her eyes, asking suspiciously, did you do something bad and offend Shang clan? Fang Yuan snorted, I have been with you for a long time, you still don't know me? There is no one in this private residence, it makes me feel uneasy. Let's go out and take a look. Bai Ningbing thought about it, standing up, all right. Fang and Bai walked out of the house. This courtyard was not big, and there was nothing strange about it. At the same time, in first inner city. In the study room, colorful smoke coiled and rose in front of Shang Yangfei, showing Fang and Bai's image. Wei Yang, what do you think of these two? Shang Yangfei sat, testing his trusted aid. Wei Yang pondered, from what I can see, these two are demonic GU masters. According to the information, they are rank 3 peak stage at such a young age, their talent is unparalleled. Among these two, Hei Tu is more straightforward and has a strong drive. Bai Yun, on the other hand, has a deep mind and is more shrewd. Hei Tu, Bai Yun, these names should be fake. Millimeter, your analysis is good. In that case, you will be in charge of receiving these two in these days. Let's test their skills and probe their background. Shang Yangfei finished speaking and withdrew the colorful mist. He was only concerned about Shang Xinci, and had no interest in Fang and Bai. He already had a preliminary understanding of the personalities of these two people after a little probing just now. Combining with the information he had, Shang Yangfei had a rough impression of them. Demonic GU masters were not all crazy people. These two were not bad, maybe because they were young, but one could clearly feel their pride. Usually, People with principles were people with lofty and unyielding character. First impressions were very important. Honestly speaking, Shang Yangfei had a good impression of Fang and Bai. But he was a cautious person, and people who could sit in his position were all cautious. He was still waiting. Waiting for the people he sent out to investigate to return. Waiting for everything to be confirmed and stable. Deal with it like this, go ahead. Shang Yangfei waved his hand, and from the tall stack of documents on the table, he took out the top one. He had only been in closed cultivation for half a month, and there were already so many matters piled up. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing walked around this private residence, and indeed, there was no one. The two were hesitating whether to go out and take a look, when Wei Yang turned into light and arrived. Both of you, Lord Clan Leader is busy and cannot leave. This meeting can only be cancelled. He apologized with a sincere expression. What? You want us to come and go as you please? Fang Yuan was indignant. Bai Ningbing was silent, not saying anything. Wei Yang smiled. Both of you are esteemed guests, how could the Shang clan chase our esteemed guests away? To express his apologies, Lord Clan Leader has specially ordered me to receive you too. I have already booked a banquet at Shetian Restaurant. I hope you two esteemed guests will come. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing glanced at each other, before Fang Yuan said, coincidentally, we are hungry, let's go fill our stomachs first. Shetian Restaurant was one of the top restaurants in Shangclan City, occupying an entire floor of third inner city. The style was elegant, the dishes were sumptuous, and there were specialized GU masters as chefs, using special GU worms to cook. Thus, the dishes they made were all top-notch delicacies that could not be obtained through ordinary means. The meal lasted for over 4 hours. There were over 100 dishes, each with their own specialties. The wine was exquisite, and the aftertaste was endless. But Bai Ningbing did not eat much, as she was worried about the Shang clan leader's invitation. During the banquet, she tried to probe Wei Yang, but Wei Yang was a cautious person, and kept his mouth shut. Instead, Fang Yuan ate until his mouth was full of grease, he drank too much, and started to shout loudly, as if he had forgotten all of his anger and dissatisfaction earlier. Wei Yang looked at Fang Yuan drinking wine from a wine jar, and then at Bai Ningbing, who was only drinking water, and immediately felt that the ugly Fang Yuan was more adorable. After the meal, Wei Yang sent the two back to Nanqiu Garden. Chapter 269. On the second day, Wei Yang came to Nanqiu Garden as expected, and invited Fang and Bai to tour Shongclan City. Our Shongclan City is the largest city in the southern border in terms of area. Shongclan has operated here for thousands of years, and the whole Shongliang mountain has been remodeled. Here, there are tens of thousands of shops, and hundreds of thousands of people live here. You two haven't eaten yet, let me bring you to a famous breakfast shop first. This way please. Fang and Bai followed Wei Yang, walking down the stone stairs. After about 3 floors, they came to a shop called Early Spring. 1000-layer agate cake, crab roe bun, golden field pancake, snow porridge. Shongclan City is divided into first, second, third, fourth, fifth inner city, and outer city. If we arrange it from top to bottom, it can be divided into many zones, such as food zone, gambling zone, nursing zone, brothel zone, and so on. Wei Yang introduced. This is the food zone, there are many restaurants, and most have GU master chefs. There are countless delicacies here. This is the nursing zone. Many GU masters have too many GU worms, and can place them here to be nurtured. Fees are charged according to the situation. Normally, a rank 1 GU costs 80 yuan stone a month. We are now at the GU fighting zone. This is purely a GU fighting zone. GU masters cannot fight, and can only control their GU worms. If you too have a suitable GU worm, you can give it a try. This is the brothel zone, the place with the most brothels in Shongclan City. Many GU masters come here to relax. The two of you are also traveling merchants, so you must know the immense pressure that comes with traveling. Here, you can find women, men, and even GU masters. Why, are you two not interested? With Wei Yang, the local tyrant, leading them, Bai Ningbing's horizons were broadened. Shongclan City was bustling with activity, making one forget to return home. A day was too short, and Shongclan City was too big. Even if the three took a quick tour, they could not even cover 1% of Shongclan City. On the third day, Wei Yang came again to entertain Fang and Bai. This is the substitute refinement zone. The two are GU masters, and naturally know the difficulty of refining GU worms. To us, the biggest fear is encountering stubborn wild GU worms, or GU left behind by famous experts. The higher the rank of the GU, the harder it was to refine. Back then, Empress Wu Ji spent 11 years to refine a rank 5 dragon strength GU. Hence, substitute refining is very necessary, and there has always been a market for it. This is the auction area. Small auctions would be held here every day. Every week or two, there would be a medium-sized auction. At the end of every month, there would be at least one large-scale auction. The items that appear in auctions are usually good stuff. This is the martial arts area. There are more than 80 large and small martial arts arenas. This is always the most lively place. There was a single-person battle stage for GU masters to practice their GU worms. There was a double battle stage for GU masters to spar with each other. There are also many people fighting in the martial arts arena. Just like what Wei Yang said, the battle zone was the liveliest place in Shongclan City. It was noisy here, and people were coming and going. Rank 3 GU masters were everywhere. Big brother Wei, why are you here? A young man in the crowd immediately called out when he saw Wei Yang and quickly walked over. This man was about 27 or 28 years old. He had an ordinary appearance, but gave off a strong aura. Little Xiao, I heard you fought your way to third inner city. Well done. Wei Yang patted the young man's shoulder, encouraging him. Yes, I recently advanced to rank 3 middle stage, and my battle strength also rose. Speaking of which, I have to thank big brother Wei Yang for your guidance, otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today. The young man thanked sincerely. Your talent is not bad, you can still do it without me. You are not even 30 yet, but you are already rank 3 middle stage. You are much stronger than me back then, haha. Wei Yang laughed. The young man looked at Wei Yang with a gaze of worship. Big brother Wei Yang, how can I compare to you? Back then, you were only rank 3 middle stage, but you were already a hero in third inner city. At 25, Lord Clan Leader took a liking to you, and recruited you. Now that you are a clan elder, How many external elders are there in Clan? As long as you work hard, you can do it too. Wei Yang encouraged the young man. Next, he turned around and explained to Fang and Bai, the battle zone is a way for Clan to recruit external talents. Back then, I fought my way from 5th Inner City's battle zone to 3rd Inner City, and defended the arena for 18 rounds, before being recruited by Lord Clan Leader. Back then, Shong Yang Fei was not the clan leader yet. Wei Yang was taken in as a confidant, and after Shong Yang Fei ascended, he was promoted to an external elder. Bai Ningbing immediately understood. No wonder the battle zone was so popular. Shong Clan was a huge clan, and needed manpower in many areas. Just relying on the clan members, they could not handle the situation. Every generation of Shong Clan young masters would recruit a certain number of demonic GU masters. If this demonic GU master became the clan leader under a young master, then they could be appointed as an external elder, and enjoy the treatment of a clan elder. GU master cultivation required large amounts of resources. Most demonic GU masters did not have the stable resources provided by the clan, and lived in poverty. Only by relying on the clan could they have a better life. Wei Yang was a successful example in front of them. In Shong Clan City's battle zone, there were large numbers of demonic GU masters. To rely on Shong Clan and become righteous, to become like Wei Yang, they fought and climbed up. Battle zone, this place is filled with my memories. Gentlemen, are you interested in sparring with me? Wei Yang suddenly suggested. Brother Wei, you want to go? Little Xiao's eyes shone with excitement and joy. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing glanced at each other. All right, then let's experience it. Fang Yuan had already expected Shong Clan to probe him, so he went with the flow. Brother Wei, you don't come here often, this place has been renovated. Let me lead the way for you, Little Xiao volunteered. Wei Yang nodded, all right. Little Xiao continued, Brother Wei, what kind of place do you want? Forest, mountain, plains, or desert, lake? Wei Yang, however, turned around and asked for Fang and Bai's opinion. Esteemed guests, please choose. Some GU masters specialized in mountain battles, while others specialized in desert battles. The battle environment was a very important factor in the outcome of a battle. We can choose a place here. What kind of places are there? Bai Ningbing asked curiously. Little Xiao saw Wei Yang address Fang and Bai as esteemed guests, and did not dare to be negligent, immediately introducing the places. 3rd Inner City's battle zone, there were tens of different kinds of places, covering almost all the common battlefields. After Bai Ningbing heard it, he could not help but feel eager. Then let's choose the Flagstone Field. The Flagstone Field was the most common battle zone, without wind, snow, rain, sand, or any other environmental factors. Specially made black flagstones covered an area of 100 feet. Look, it's Elder Wei Yang. It's Elder Wei Yang, it's him. Although he only has B-grade aptitude, he managed to walk out of the battle zone. Back then, I even competed with him. Wei Yang seemed to be very popular, his appearance in the battle zone attracted many people's attention. But Wei Yang was a low-profile person, using his authority as an elder, he temporarily sealed this battle zone, forbidding others from watching. Only Little Xiao was left. Wei Yang walked to the center of the field. According to the normal rules, both sides have to declare their cultivation level and measure the treasure light. But we are only casually sparring, there is no need for that. Both of you, please make your move. Listening to his words, he actually wanted to challenge both Fang and Bai by himself. Little Xiao stood outside the field, excitedly clenching his fists. Back then, Brother Wei defeated the strong with his rank 3 middle stage cultivation. Of the 18 matches, almost every match was a classic. Right now, he is already rank 3 peak stage. I need to observe this battle carefully. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing looked at each other, and suddenly moved, pouncing towards Wei Yang from both sides. You want to fight in close combat? Wei Yang stood on the spot, not moving. His body shone with a faint golden light, forming into a battle armor that covered his entire body. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing charged forward, activating Spiral Bone Spear GU at the same time. Several bone spears rotated rapidly, piercing through the air and shooting towards Wei Yang. What Jiu is this? Wei Yang was slightly astonished. This was the first time he had seen a bone spear Jiu. He did not dodge, wanting to test the power of the spiral bone spear, and took 3 hits. The faint golden light armor shook for a while, but managed to hold on. This Jiu is not bad, it has a penetrating force and is good at breaking through defenses. Wei Yang was not flustered, activating his prime Val essence, and the light armor became strong again. Here I come, he shouted, grabbing at the air with both hands, and 2 blades of light condensed in the air, shining brightly. It's here, Brother Wei's blade light Jiu. Little Xiao saw this and shouted in excitement. Wei Yang grabbed the 2 blades, his gaze sweeping around as he chose to charge. 2 blades of light slashed down, blade light white bone and sword shadow Jiu are equally famous. The blades of light cut the white bone shields into 2 and landed on the canopy. Seeing Wei Yang charging causing a dazzling white light to burst out with a sharp light. At the same time, blade light Jiu struck Wei Yang's abdomen, but he was not afraid. Although it did not break the faint golden light armor, spring-like grass grew out of his Wei Yang flying. He stepped on the ground and compressed it to its limit, in time, causing with a swing of her speed to increase several spiral bone canopy shot towards Wei Yang. Flying bone shield. Her attacks were ruthless and decisive, was covered in a layer as if she wanted to kill Wei Yang. And at the same time, 3 white bone shields flew out, revolving around his body. Good timing. Wei Yang shouted, charging towards Fang Yuan and slashing with both blades. Fang Yuan did not dodge, he raised his right fist and punched. Wei Yang's eyes flashed with astonishment, not expecting Fang Yuan to fight so valiantly. Chapter 270. Wei Yang was sent flying by Fang Yuan's punch, and before he could stabilize his body, the spiral bone spear came crashing down. The spiral bone spear pierced through the air, emitting a shrill sound as it shot out like lightning. At such a close distance, Wei Yang could even see the spiral carvings on the tip of the bone spear. These spiral bone spears, although their attack is not bad, and have drilling power, they are only rank 2 GU after all, there is no need to worry about them. But it is only a rank 2 GU after all, there is no need to worry about it. At that moment, Wei Yang's thoughts moved like lightning. Bai Ningbing's blue eyes were cold as ice. Wei Yang wanting to fight both of them provoked her pride. The spiral bone spear can only restrain them. I do not have enough GU worms. To subdue them, I need to use my fists and leg. She was a genius. Earlier, when Fang Yuan sent Wei Yang flying, although it was only one attack, Bai Ningbing had already seen Wei Yang's weakness. Wei Yang's strength had not been permanently modified by GU worms, he only had the strength of a normal person. This weakness could be exploited to its fullest potential. Bai Ningbing stepped forward, following behind the bone spear, raising her leg and kicking fiercely. Brother Wei. Little Xiao, who was observing the scene, could not help but feel nervous at this sight. If Wei Yang was restrained by the bone spear, Bai Ningbing would have a chance. At the same time, Fang Yuan was also rushing over. Wei Yang was at a disadvantage. He. At the crucial moment, Wei Yang laughed lightly instead. Seeing that the spiral bone spear was about to hit him, suddenly, his body shone with white light, as he turned into a ray of light and escaped. There is indeed such a GU. Fang Yuan squinted. Such speed. Bai Ningbing's pupils shrunk, feeling shocked. Almost at the next second, the spiral bone spear pierced through the stone slab, stabbing into the ground. Bai Ningbing could not stop her momentum, and with a loud sound, she smashed the stone slab. Spider web-like cracks spread all over the stone slab. Brother Wei's rainbow light GU. I thought he did not have time to use it, but it turns out he was waiting for that moment to escape, causing the enemy to miss. Excellent, this is a psychological blow to the enemy. Little Xiao saw through the trick behind it. Seeing that the enemy was about to be heavily injured, but the enemy escaped so easily, from hope to disappointment, anyone would feel a huge psychological impact. As the white light dissipated, Wei Yang's true body was revealed. In the blink of an eye, he had already flown 180 feet away. He had already crossed more than half of the martial arts arena and was now facing Fang and Bai. Seeing this speed, Bai Ningbing could not help but hesitate. With this rainbow light GU, Wei Yang could leave and fight whenever he wanted. Without a doubt, he was already in an invincible position. Rainbow Light GU was a rank 3 GU, it could allow a GU master to turn into light and escape. Among the rank 3 movement type GU, it was known as the fastest. In contrast, between Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing, one only had jumping grass, and the other didn't even have a movement GU. Wei Yang's speed was something they could only look at but not catch up to. In terms of movement, Rainbow Light GU gave Wei Yang a huge advantage. Once this GU was used, even though Fang and Bai were working together, they were forced into a passive situation. Gentlemen, this is the Rainbow Light GU. Although it is only a rank 3 GU, in terms of speed, it surpasses many rank 4 GU worms. It was so fast that the GU master using it could not react in time. This is its first weakness. To use it, one needs to use it together with the Lightning Thoughts GU or a Flash of Inspiration GU. Otherwise, by the time the GU master reacts, they would have already flown too far away, or even crashed into the wall. Wei Yang spoke, actually speaking about the Rainbow Light GU's weakness. Its second weakness is that it consumes a lot of Primeval essence. Among rank 3 GU, this level of consumption was already above average. It has a third weakness, I won't say it, you guys can guess. Is it because strength GU cannot be used to increase strength? Bai Ningbing continued. This time, it was Wei Yang's turn to be surprised. He then showed an expression of praise. Lady Bai Yun is really smart, not bad. If a GU master uses GU worms to change their body, for example to increase their strength, it would be hard to use the Rainbow Light GU. The Primeval essence consumption would increase, and more seriously, the light transformation would fail, destroying the rainbow light GU. Unexpectedly, Bai Ningbing heard his praise and her expression turned cold. Her gaze was like ice as she stared at Wei Yang with killing intent. Hey, I'm warning you, don't call me lady. Ah! Wei Yang's expression froze. Did I say anything wrong? Don't tell me the term lady is a taboo for her. What a strange taboo. Wei Yang sighed inwardly, but said apologetically, please forgive my offense, Lady Bai Yun. Veins popped out on Bai Ningbing's forehead, she gritted her teeth. Don't call me that either. Oh, then. Sir Bai Yun. Wei Yang observed her expression as he carefully chose his words. Bai Ningbing's expression relaxed. Wei Yang's lips curled into a smile, continuing, then sirs, it is my turn to attack. Bring it on. Fang Yuan patted his chest, shouting, scaring Bai Ningbing who was beside him. Your Excellency He Tu is truly heroic. Take this. Wei Yang praised, and just as he finished speaking, he turned into a white light, charging towards Fang and Bai. Facing such speed, Fang and Bai did not even have time to blink. This rainbow light passed through the gap between them, arriving behind them. The white light dispersed, turning back into Wei Yang. He held two blades of light, slashing towards Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing, one on the left and one on the right. Before the blade even hit, Bai Ningbing felt her skin tighten. She immediately knew that her ice muscles alone could not block this blade, and quickly retreated. Fang Yuan gave a light shout, not dodging, he activated the Sky Canopy GU and Flying Bone Shield, punching forward. The blades of light first hit the spinning white bone shield, breaking it. Wei Yang turned into light and flew away. Fang Yuan's fist was about to hit his chest, but the difference of a millimeter was like 1,000 li. The streak of light suddenly came to a stop. The whole attack was as fast as lightning. In less than a few seconds, Wei Yang had already moved from one side of the battle stage to the other, crossing a distance of 600 meters. Again, Fang Yuan shouted, the battle intent in his eyes blazing like fire. Wei Yang turned into light again, arriving in front of Fang and Bai in the blink of an eye. Bai Ningbing could not take it head-on, and could only use Spiral Bone Spear, but Wei Yang's speed was too fast, the Bone Spear missed. Fang Yuan could only take the hits passively, other than the first time, his fists had not hit Wei Yang again. At once, the white rainbows on the battle stage refracted continuously, like pinballs in a sealed box. On the other hand, Fang and Bai could only try their best to resist, completely losing the initiative. This is Big Brother Wei's true strength. Too amazing. Little Xiao could not help but feel dazzled. Wei Yang's speed was astonishing, appearing and disappearing like a ghost. After a few more minutes, he stopped, laughing. If you two want to compete in stamina, targeting my Rainbow Light Gu's weakness of expending Primeval essence, then I'm afraid you are wrong. I still have a Light Source GU, it is a support type GU, its only use is to reduce the Primeval essence expenditure of Light type GU worms by half. Damn it. Bai Ningbing gritted his teeth. Fang Yuan spread his arms. I'm done, I can't beat you. Big Brother Wei Yang, we admit defeat. Wei Yang laughed heartily, cupping his fists. Thank you for letting me win. Little Xiao saw that the battle was over, and immediately walked over, excitement still lingering on his face. Big Brother Wei is really amazing, but it is also amazing that you two could last for so long. You two might not know, but my Big Brother Wei might only be rank 3 peak stage, but he has outstanding battle strength. He is the third general under Lord Shongyang Fei, people call him White Light Swordsman. If it were me, I might not even last 20 rounds. A loss is a loss, it is no big deal. Wei Yang, after I have a suitable GU, I will compete with you again. Bai Ningbing's expression was cold. Ever since she was young, the arrogant her had never lost so badly, she was naturally feeling gloomy. Little Xiao saw that Bai Ningbing called Big Brother Wei Yang by his name, and his expression became slightly unhappy. Fang Yuan stood at the side. Big Brother Wei Yang, you held back, I can feel it. After I buy some useful GU, I will spar with you again. Although I lost this time, I am not feeling good. Next time, Big Brother Wei, please use your full strength, don't worry too much. Ha ha ha, Brother He too is a straightforward person. This time, it was my fault. Next time, I will use my full strength. Wei Yang patted Fang Yuan's shoulder. That's right. Big brother Wei Yang, I accept my loss wholeheartedly. I will treat you to wine today. Little brother Xiao, come too. Tell me more about big brother Wei's heroic deeds. Know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Fang Yuan laughed. Little Xiao felt that although Fang Yuan was ugly and missing an ear, he was very pleasing to the eye. Compared to that eccentric guy called Bai Yun, he was much more agreeable. Good. Little Xiao laughed. As the saying goes, no discord, no concord. I know a newly opened restaurant, the prices are cheap and the food is good. I cannot let you two treat me, I will treat you. Big brother Wei, please come. Fang Yuan stared. How can that be? Little Xiao is half a host, you two are guests, let little Xiao treat you. Wei Yang tried to smooth things over. Fang Yuan thought for a while, all right. You treat this time, I will treat you next time. I have no money on hand, after I sell the recipe and have money, I will treat you two to a good meal. To speak the truth, I have just arrived here, and have been shocked by the prices in Shongclan City. These words were a bit mischievous, and he was also honest about his lack of money, causing Wei Yang and little Xiao to laugh lightly, feeling that Fang Yuan was a straightforward man. Only Bai Ningbing knew Fang Yuan's acting skills, and was already used to it. During the meal, the three drank and chatted, and introduced themselves, getting closer to each other. Only Bai Ningbing drank the water, doing as she pleased, enjoying herself. Little Xiao's name was Xiao Yang, 27 years old, an expert in fire-type GU worms. Recently, his cultivation had advanced by a small realm, reaching rank 3 middle stage. That was how he broke through 4th Inner City's battle zone and arrived at 3rd Inner City. He Tu and Bai Yun are just fake names. My real name is Gua Fangjing, she is Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan pretended to be drunk, revealing some information. They had Bai clan's arrest warrant. As long as Shongclan investigated, this matter could not be hidden. Fang Yuan might as well say it, and give a magnanimous impression. Xiao Yang was moved. He and Wei Yang were demonic GU masters, Fang Yuan telling them his real name, this was a heart-to-heart gesture. Chapter 271. Guyue Fangjing. Hearing Wei Yang's report, Shong Yang Fei frowned. Guyue's surname was very special. Shong Yang Fei searched his memories and quickly found the origin. Guyue clan, one of the 3 clans on Qing Marrow Mountain, with hundreds of years of history. Qing Marrow Mountain. Shong Yang Fei's eyes brightened, thinking of a piece of information from half a year ago. Qing Marrow Mountain suffered a mysterious attack, and in one night, it turned from a green lake to a land of ice and snow. No one knew what happened on Qing Marrow Mountain. Even now, the ice and snow covering Qing Marrow Mountain had not completely melted. But from all sorts of traces, people could see traces of a great battle between GU masters. Right now, Qing Marrow Mountain's destruction had become a mysterious event, and was widely spread in the southern border. As for the cause of all this, there were many different opinions. But to some people, the traces on Qing Marrow Mountain were too obvious. Always planning the before making a move, 10 extreme and has been trying to find the higher-ups during the battle. Master world, her gaze is sharp, was already half public especially information. Gua Fangjing. The moment I said that I had got this information, he admitted this was caused by one of the 10 extreme physiques, far surpassing the northern dark ice soul physique. Lord Patriarch. If so, these two are like young tigers in Pingyang Hill, and young dragons in Mountain's investigation team. One young also sent back a letter. One fierce and domineering, the other soft and scheming. Fei quickly drew the outline of the entire event in his mind, reflecting off each other. There is only one question left. If we can recruit them and make them work for Shongclan, why did they conceal their identities? It would be a great hide in the caravan. Shong Yang Fei had already guessed many possibilities. Fang and Bai in his eyes, matter was still under investigation. After hearing Wei Yang's words, his interest sparred with them. How were their skills? You have followed me for so many years. Asked, I trust your foresight. Wei Yang's expression but you do not need to belittle yourself. Reporting, even if they grow up in the future, in time, might not be able to match you. Will definitely surpass you are restricted by your aptitude. You gave them such a high evaluation. You would be even more outstanding was a little surprised. You do not need to worry about it. Continuing, if there is a rebirth Although they used GU I will help you conceal their aura to be able to last so long in battle. Rebirth bone they should at least raise a GU master's aptitude, and from their age, it was extremely precious that they should have a great aptitude. Wei Yang was so moved his eyes turned red. Wei Yang, this subordinate you have to never forget great aptitude is only a type of talent. It does not represent everything. Wei Yang will not mistreat anyone who follows me loyally. But you are my external elder. You can go now. Continue to entertain them. How many A-class people have died in your hands towards Clan, and see if you are the best proof. Yes, in an ordinary mountain stronghold, it was already an amazing thing to have an A-grade talent. In the guest hall, Fang Yuan and Shong was very common facing each other. Firstly, Fang Yuan was leisurely enjoying his and had many clansmen, while Shong Yaz's expression was ugly. He could recruit demonic GU masters. I have come to find you with sincerity who could stand out in the battle stage actually getting higher and higher. Originally, it was only 6 to 5 like a mountain, they had the ability to purchase every day, but today, you are asking I am indebted to Lord Patriarch's praise. Are you toying with me, subordinate treating it as entertainment? Shong Yang humbly replied, this subordinate gritting also understands this logic. If it was because of this, he would have already lost his temper that these two are not cup in his hand on Fang Yuan's face. The two of them are extremely talented in battle. Why? And they have a natural sensitivity to the battle situations. I wonder what their relationship with Lord Father is. Their GU worms are incomplete, but relying on those 2 or 3 GU worms, accompanying them as they strolled around so long. It is truly surprising. He was known as the third general, the two of them are very resilient, trusted aid. Even in a disadvantageous situation, most of the time, they were not discouraged. Did not represent himself. Under the pressure I exerted, they were able to break through and adjust themselves. But why were these two fellows who had popped out of nowhere treated so courteously by Lord Father? Their improvement was extremely obvious. Could not understand. Specifically, after the incident between the two, he started investigating crazily, has a straightforward nature, peerless courage. He can charge head-on and has an innate spirit. His influence was limited to Shong Clan City. He did not have as much influence as Shong Yang Fei. Without any results, Shong Yaz could only guess. Why did Lord Father express goodwill to them? Was it because of the inheritance in their hands? No, an inheritance could revitalize an ordinary clan, but Shong Clan was different. Unless it was a rank 6 GU Immortal's inheritance, it was just icing on the cake. Or was it because they were talents? No, there were so many loyal demonic GU masters in the battle stage, they wanted to join Shong Clan, and they were all good fighters. Even Father did not like them. Why would he like them? Anyway, Shong Yaz could not see anything. After the 2 guesses were eliminated, a thought popped up in his mind. Could it be that one of them was Father's illegitimate son? That Shong Tuohai, the current young clan leader, wasn't he Father's illegitimate son? But when Shong Yaz thought about it, he felt something was wrong. The bloodline was extremely important. Once Shong Tuohai was discovered, he was protected. Unlike these two in front of him, Shong Yaz thought hard, but made no progress. Because of this, he was even more wary of Fang and Bai. Often, the unknown was the scariest. Fang Yuan sensed that these days, this young master Shong Yaz was getting more and more restless and impatient. This was what he wanted to see. Every time he increased the price, he did it on purpose. If he increased it from 650,000 to 800,000, the negotiations would definitely collapse. But by increasing it by tens of thousands, it would wear down Shong Yaz's resolute opposition. The time was ripe. Fang Yuan put down the teacup in his hand, smiling. Every item has its value. To others, this is just a GU master inheritance. But to you, it is the last hope to protect your young master position. Since it is so, then the price should be higher. As the assessment gets closer, the value of this inheritance will increase. Thus, I increase the price every other day. Isn't that something I should do? Now that the price is too low, how can I live up to this last hope? How can I live up to the important position of Shong Clan Young Master? After all, only Shong Clan Young Masters can compete for the Young Clan Leader position. When Shong Yaz heard this, his eyes twitched in anger. Fang Yuan was threatening him, he was raising the price. How could he be so shameless? Shong Yaz wanted to chop Fang Yuan into pieces. But when he thought of the position of Young Master, he finally forced himself to endure it. You have a good plan. If I spend 800,000 to buy it, it will be a loss, and my evaluation will be lowered. The elders in charge of the assessment are not fools. Thus, I cannot buy it at this price. Fang Yuan had expected Shang Yaz to say this, his lips curled up into a smile, so I have a good idea. On the surface, I will sell it to you for 650,000, but in reality, you will give me 800,000. You will keep your young master position, and I will sell it at a good price. Isn't that a win-win situation? Shang Yaz's expression changed, staring at Fang Yuan. You want me to fake the accounts? Absolutely not. If I am found out, no matter when, my young master position will be revoked, and I will be severely punished. Fang Yuan frowned. You can't say that. Who said it is fake? I sold you the recipe, that is the same thing. But you are kind and generous, you think I am an upright person, so you gave me some yuan stone as a gift. These two matters are not related at all. At once, Shang Yaz looked at Fang Yuan in a daze, not knowing what to say. Chapter 272. Shang Yaz left with a heavy heart. Before he left, he told Fang Yuan that this was an important matter, he needed to consider it carefully. As long as he was considering, it meant that he was close to success. Fang Yuan had already seen through this person, he knew that the deal was done. At that time, he could even increase the price. Of course, he was hesitating now, he could not increase the price to provoke him. Once he had made up his mind, it would be a piece of cake for him to increase the price. 2 days later, Shang Yaz appeared in front of Fang Yuan with a haggard face. I agree, we will do as you said, we have a deal. He gritted his teeth, hesitating for a long time before saying this. Trust me, you will remember this decision in the future. Come, let's drink. Fang Yuan smiled, pouring a cup of wine for Shang Yaz. Shang Yaz raised his cup and drank it all. What kind of lousy wine is this? After drinking, he frowned and cursed. This is the cheapest rice wine. Young master, I do not have the money to buy good wine. Fang Yuan laughed lightly. You will have the money soon. Huff. Shang Yaz breathed out heavily. When he was considering, he was in a dilemma, it was very painful. But after he made the decision, he relaxed completely. All right, I have prepared the contract, take a look. Fang Yuan handed over a document. Shang Yaz took a look and stared angrily at Fang Yuan, slamming the table and shouting, 950,000? You actually raised the price again. Last time, you said 800,000, it has only been a few days and you raised it by 150,000? You think I am rich enough to rival a country? Bastard. Do you think I stole my primordial stones? Fang Yuan was calm, he smiled. It has been 3 days, the price will naturally rise. It is not like you don't know. Shang Yaz's veins were bulging, he jumped up from his seat. You think I am easy to bully? I do not have that much money. You're asking for 950,000 for a mere inheritance. You really dare to demand an exorbitant price. Don't be impatient. Extreme anger is harmful to the body, young master. This is not a small inheritance, it concerns your position as a young master. Think about it, every year, a young lord would be eliminated. How many people are waiting anxiously down there? Fang Yuan's tone was unhurried. Hearing about the position of young master, the furious Shang Yaz immediately lost his composure. Looking at his expression, Fang Yuan also knew that this figure of 950,000 was probably too much for him to bear. Thus, he took a step back and said, all right, then 900,000 yuan stone it is. I'll take it that I'm afraid of you. Shang Yaz slowly sat down. He had only been in office for a year, and he also had to take care of the evaluation. The amount of yuan stone he had actually pocketed was no more than 400,000. Without a doubt, after this transaction, his 1 year of hard work would go down the drain. It wasn't easy for him to earn a small fortune, but it was all gone. But this concerned the position of young master, he could only pinch his nose and accept it. He was silent for a while, before nodding, then 900,000 yuan stone it is. But I don't trust a paper agreement. We need to make a poison vow Gu. Fang Yuan showed hesitation on his face. What, are you afraid? Without the poison vow Gu, How can I be sure you won't run away with the money? This must be done. There is no room for discussion. Shang Yaz's attitude was firm. Fang Yuan had actually expected such a situation. Since that is the case, I will go first. Immediately, a heart-piercing pain assaulted Fang Yuan's nerves. Shang Yaz revealed and endured the pain, summoning and started to read the contents of the document. The poison Vao Ji After he was finished, a purplish-red worm, only the size of a finger, from the size it had a menacing mouth, absorbing a large amount of Fang Yuan's heart blood. It flew to Fang Yuan's left index finger and Shang Yaz's fingertip and started to suck blood. Shang Yaz held the document, using a trembling voice to read the contents. The poison Vao Ji doubled in size again. His face was pale from the pain, he grimaced in pain as he breathed in. This damned agreement, why are there so many words? Can't you write less? You don't have anything else to add. Fang Yuan shook his head. Shang Yaz's lips curled up, showing a smile. But his face was twisted, making his smile look sinister. Bam! The poison Vao Ji that was filled with blood suddenly exploded. But there was no blood splattering, instead it turned into countless red light spots. The light spots flew towards Fang Yuan and Shang Yaz, like raindrops falling into a lake, entering their bodies. This meant the poison vow was in effect. If the contents they read did not match their true intentions, the poison Vao Ji would self-detonate and turn into a pool of blood. In such a situation, it meant that one or both of them had broken the vow, causing the poison Vao Ji to fail. Seeing this, Shang Yaz's smile became even wider. He looked at Fang Yuan. Hehe, we have already sworn the poison vow. If you change your mind in the future, and do something that goes against the vow, then you will turn into a pool of blood and die. Fang Yuan's expression did not change, only asking, where is Yuan's stone? Shang Yaz shrugged his shoulders. Don't worry, how would I dare to go against the poison vow? Here. He took out a GU. This GU was like a ball, like it was made of crystal, translucent and palm-sized. There were clouds in the ball, as if they were sealing white clouds. This white cloud had a peculiar shape, like an old man with a walking stick and a hunched back. The old man's white hair drooped down, he had a sage-like aura, the wrinkles on his face were vivid, and he was smiling kindly. This was a Primeval Elder GU. It was specially used to store Yuan stone. As the saying goes, everyone has their own specialties. The Primeval Elder GU was only a rank 3 GU, but it could store 1,000,000 Yuan stone. There are only 870,000 Yuan stone in here. I will find some time to gather the remaining 30,000 Yuan stone for you. Shang Yaz showed extreme reluctance as he handed the Primeval Elder GU to Fang Yuan. Inside, there were 600,000 from the merchant's payment. The remaining 270,000 were almost all of Shang Yaz's personal assets. After Fang Yuan received it, he cooperated with Fang Yuan's refinement. The Primeval Elder GU changed owners, and the cloud in the ball immediately changed. The old man inside was originally facing Shang Yaz. But now, he changed his direction, and started smiling at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan moved the Primeval Elder GU casually. As long as he changed directions, the cloud in the ball would change, and the old man would always be smiling at Fang Yuan. Actually, this Primeval Elder GU was quite interesting. If the Yuan stone inside was low, the old man would frown. If the storage was moderate, the old man would be expressionless. The more Yuan stone there was, the happier the old man would be. Shang Yaz saw Fang Yuan fiddling with the Primeval Elder GU, and understood that Fang Yuan knew how to use this GU. He snorted, this Primeval Elder GU is worth a lot, I cannot give it to you for free. I got this Primeval Elder GU from the auction, it cost me 6,600 Yuan stone. Fang Yuan nodded, rank 3 GU were priced in the thousands in the market, and the Primeval Elder GU was rare, it was definitely worth this price. He immediately took out the Yuan stone and gave it to Shang Yaz. Shang Yaz used an ordinary storage GU to store these Yuan stone, and felt very unhappy. These were supposed to be his Yuan stone. Forget it, as long as I can keep my young master position, everything is possible. I will earn back the Yuan stone, and this guy who raised the price and threatened me will die a horrible death. Shang Yaz was not a magnanimous person to begin with. Fang Yuan took all his money, and the remaining 30,000 yuan stone, he had to borrow money from all over the place. White Bone Recipe's normal price was 600,000, but Fang Yuan sold it to him for 900,000. Shong Yaz pinched his nose. After suffering such a huge loss, he hated Fang Yuan to the core. The remaining 50,000 yuan stone, I will give it to you in 3 days. You and I will know about this, we cannot let a third party know. Even your companion cannot, you better not try to take advantage of this loophole, it is useless. Shong Yaz stood up to leave, he could not take it any longer. Looking at Fang Yuan's ugly face for a second longer, the anger in his heart would accumulate a bit more. There are no loopholes in the agreement, you saw it too, didn't you? Fang Yuan's expression was indifferent. Shong Yaz snorted coldly. He was born in Shong clan, and was influenced from a young age, and had been in charge of the shop for a year. Even if there were loopholes, they could not hide from his eyes. I don't think you dare to go against the oath. He sneered in disdain, turning around and leaving. Fang Yuan did not take it to heart. He knew Shong Yaz's mood right now, and could understand. As for the poison oath, he did not intend to go against it. The poison oath Gu's restriction was very strong. Otherwise, it would not be widely used by GU masters. It could not be leaked to an unknown third party, that was a definite no. Any loopholes, it was a joke with one's life. Just like earlier, Fang Yuan gave Shong Yaz 6,600 yuan stone. It seemed like this was an unnecessary action, it could have been deducted from the remaining 30,000 yuan stone. But he could not. The poison oath stipulated 900,000, so Shong Yaz had to take out 900,000 yuan stone and give it to Fang Yuan. This was the hard and fast rule. 3 days later, Shong Yaz collected 30,000 yuan stone and gave it to Fang Yuan. And Fang Yuan also gave him the recipe. Of course, the most valuable bone flesh unity Gu's recipe could not be sold. Shong Yaz only knew about the bone spear GU, spiral bone spear GU and others. After looking at the recipe, he found many other recipes used the bone spear GU as the foundation. He was satisfied with this, and his mood became slightly better. Fang Yuan then sold the bone spear GU, spiral bone spear GU and bone spike GU to him. According to the original selling price, it was 40,620 yuan stone. As such, the result of this transaction was that Fang Yuan's wealth increased by 934,020 yuan stone. Adding on his previous savings, he had a total of 945,000 yuan stone. Fang Yuan stored most of the yuan stone in the Primeval Elder GU. Of course, to prevent accidents, he also stored some on him and in the Chusita flower. At this time in my previous life, I was still in a caravan, I had 50 to 60 yuan stone at most. But now, I have close to 1 million. Fang Yuan compared it to his memories, and could see the huge advantage of rebirth. Of course, he was taking a huge risk. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. There is no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Giving does not mean you will get something, but to get something, you need to give something. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Shong clan's investigation ended, and Wei Yang brought Shong Yangfei's invitation. Esteemed guests, my Lord Clan leader has arranged a family banquet, and ordered me to invite you. Family banquet. This moment has finally arrived. Chapter 273. This small courtyard was where Shong Yangfei had set up the family banquet. It was an open-air banquet, and because it was inside the mountain, there was no need to worry about wind or rain. The courtyard was not luxurious or elegant, it was even slightly run down. There were more than 10 tables in the courtyard, forming a circle. It was already starting to feel crowded. There were some fruits and snacks on the tables. There was also a sign indicating whose seat this was. 3 people had already arrived and sat down. Big brother, why did Lord Father gather us this time? Shong Chao Feng threw a red fruit into his mouth as he asked vaguely. The eldest Shong Chio Nyo was sitting upright with his eyes closed. Hearing this, he opened his eyes slightly, saying in a low voice, Lord Father just came out of closed-door cultivation and thought of us, so he held a family banquet. What is so strange about that? Big brother's words are reasonable, But when did Lord Father hold a family banquet without any important matters? Don't you feel that there are too many tables here today? Shong Pu Laro added. Shong Chao Feng snickered, but Shong Chio Nyo closed his eyes again. Shong Pu Laro's eyes flashed. He was in charge of the brothels. Shong Pulio was the most delicate and pretty. Actually, he had already faintly heard the news. Complexion. He was about to continue speaking when his ears moved and a romantic Someone is coming. He was clearly a playboy. Turned to the door of the courtyard. The two esteemed guests. With a creak, the door was pushed open, cupped his fists and greeted in. Wei Yang was not introduced, followed by Fang and Bai. The three young masters Fang and Bai had been to this courtyard wouldn't before. Be stupid enough it was to the ask. Private residence. The three young masters are right. I am private residence. This is my companion leader back then. When he was still a young master, he was suppressed. These two names were clearly fake. Lord Clan leader retreated in order to advance. He gave up the young master position. They could only laugh it off and gloss over the situation. When he was in dire straits, the banquet approached, he lived here. More young masters arrived. After clan leader succeeded, there was Shong to remind himself, who was in charge of the gambling stone. He preserved this place. Who was in charge of the family banquets have always been held here. Who was in charge of the auction house. Opened the door as he introduced. Who was in charge of the substitute training division. He noticed the three people in the courtyard. There was also Shong Yaz. So the three young masters have arrived. Was already familiar with. Shong Chionyo, Wei Yang introduced them to Fang and Bai. All stood up, young masters cupping their fists towards Wei Yang. They all showed strange expressions. Greetings. They sat down. Wei Yang was one of Shong Yang Fei's the more they talked, the more lively the official of Shong Clan became. As long as the young master wanted to compete for the young clan leader position, he would have to go through Wei Yang's evaluation. This person was tall and thin. Young masters, thick eyebrows and fierce eyes. These two are the honored guests invited by the patriarch city guards. Wei Yang, the city guards, handled disputes, his expression calm, mediated conflicts. He was an elder, maintained and order. His status was even higher than the young master. After exchanging some pleasantries with Fang and Bai, before he wouldn't try to curry favor with these young masters, on the main seat. Please sit here. Yang Fei appeared. Wei Yang led Fang Yuan and by a white robe this time. The corners of his sleeves were embroidered with gold. Looked at each other. His blood-red hair spread out recklessly, bewilderment, reaching his astonishment, and curiosity with his extremely handsome face. This was a family banquet and charm. When had they ever invited strangers? The young masters stood up and half knelt on the ground. His seat was even closer to Lord Father's main seat than ours. Wei Yang stood up, also sat down, at the same time, smiling as he continued. And Bai also stood up and paid their respects. This is Shong Chio Nyo, sit, clan leader's eldest son. Shong Yang Fei reclined on the wide back chair, casually waving his hand. This was the fourth son of the clan leader, a dazzling rainbow-colored light. He was in charge of all the GU battle arenas in Shong Clan City. The light landed on everyone's table, turning into all the brothels in the romance district. The fragrance of the dish Shong Chionyo had a strong physique and a deep voice. Fang Yuan immediately recognized that he was a calm person. Food box GU. He was the oldest. Shong Yang Fei's unique rank 5 GU. Shong Chao Feng had messy hair and a high-nose bridge. The state of the delicacies giving off when placed inside would be the same state when taken out. Fang Yuan had worked hard in a caravan in his previous life. After Gua village was destroyed, he had no one to rely on. At that time, Yitian Mountain suddenly rose up. Demonic Path GU Masters formed an alliance. Their momentum was huge, touching the bottom line of the righteous path. All the large clans allied and attacked Yitian Mountain. One of the leaders of the alliance, Shong Yang Fei, used this gourmet food box GU to reward the army. With just a wave of his sleeves, tens of thousands of people were rewarded with delicacies, greatly raising the morale of the alliance army. From then on, gourmet food box GU became a symbol of Shong Yang Fei, becoming an interesting topic of discussion among the people. At that time, Fang Yuan relied on his advantage as a transmigrator to become a small leader, joining a caravan and being in charge of escorting supplies to the Righteous Path Alliance army. He personally saw Shongyang Fei use the gourmet food box GU. The sky was filled with rainbow-colored light. It was dazzling and dazzling, illuminating the heaven and earth. It was a grand sight. To think that in this life, I could see this gourmet food box GU years in advance, and at the same time, I became a guest of Shong clan. Fang Yuan sighed inwardly. There was a sharp contrast between his previous life and this life. This was the huge advantage of rebirth. And this advantage of rebirth came from spring-autumn cicada. It was the accumulation and result of his previous life's hard work. Shongyang Fei laid out the dishes and said to the children, "Today, we have 2 esteemed guests here. All of you have to go up and toast them. Qiu Niu, you are the eldest, set an example." Lord Father had personally instructed them. Although the Shong clan young masters were suspicious, no one dared to delay. Shong Qiu Niu immediately stood up and raised his wine cup, saying in a deep voice, "Qiu Niu toasts the 2 esteemed guests." The moment he finished speaking, he raised his head and drank the wine in one gulp. Fang Yuan accompanied him with a cup of wine, but Bai Ningbing still only drank water. Among these young masters, Qiu Niu was the oldest. He was close to 30, and his appearance was quite mature. At first glance, one would think he was 40. In contrast, his father Shongyang Fei was like a young man in his 20s. If father and son stood side by side, it would be an interesting scene. Before the banquet started, I had already chatted with the 2 esteemed guests. This is the first time we met, and we had a pleasant conversation. If the 2 esteemed guests have time, you can come to my place to play. GU battles are definitely interesting. Shong Chao Feng also stood up. Fang Yuan smiled. Although this was the first time they met, he had a good understanding of Shong Chao Feng. This person loved to fight and win, and his personality was also a little sinister. In his previous life, he almost became a Shong clan young master, and had once been Shong Xin Ci's greatest hindrance. Fourth brothers GU battles are too bloody. It's better for beauties to dance and dance. Shong Piu Laro retorted, and then toasted Fang Bai, his peach blossom eyes shining. This junior would like to invite the 2 esteemed guests to have a good chat. If we have time, we will. Fang Yuan said these polite words, and drank with a smile. This banquet, in his eyes, was a celebrity banquet. Most of these Shong clan young masters would have their own performances in southern border in the future. Had a short and fat body, had many children. Seem to be eye-catching. These people were able to stand out in the fierce competition. That his body contained great strength. Outstanding abilities. But in terms of strength, they could be called dragons and phoenixes among men. Beautiful jades among rocks. Later married into Tai clan. They all had different personalities and styles of doing divine things. Investigator. Right now, they were gathered together 13th like son bright Shong Fu Shi, emitting bright and dark radiance. And when the righteous alliance attacked Tian Mountain, eldest son Shong many plans. Second son Shong Bai Ji, fourth son Shong Chao Feng, and 21st son Shong Pai Xiu. Ninth son Shong Bai Shi, had a lion's mouth and a wide nose. Many years later, he seemed to be using some GU worm, and he joined the every time he breathed, becoming a notorious yellow smoke would come out of his nose, lingering around him. Sorry, I came late. While toasting, the courtyard door was pushed open, and a young girl walked in. She was Shong Kai Wen, ranked 16th, and was in charge of the battle stage. Her eyes were lively, her face was like a peach blossom, and she had a lively nature. She was a beautiful woman. Seeing that everyone had toasted, Shongyang Fei also raised his cup, facing Fang and Bai. Thank you both for protecting Xin Ci along the way, allowing me to have a new daughter. Chapter 274. Daughter. The group of young masters all revealed shocked expressions as they looked at each other. Shang Yaz came to a realization, slapping his forehead, so it was like this. Because of this, father treated these two with respect. The mysterious veil was removed, and Shang Yaz looked at Fang Yuan with deep hatred. He was no longer afraid. Now that I know your background, I will slowly deal with you two bastards after I get through this assessment and catch my breath. At once, the courtyard was silent. Shang Yangfei smiled, looking around, giving everyone time to accept the news. Fang Yuan cooperated, showing shock, realization and suspicion, muttering, "Don't tell me." "That's right." Shang Yangfei looked at him, nodding. "It is the Zhong clan's young lady who protected you two on the journey. She is my daughter. From the moment she stepped into Zhong clan city, I sensed her bloodline, and now we have reunited." "Zhongxin Ci," Bai Ningbing blurted out. Shang Yangfei laughed heartily. "Hehe, she is no longer surnamed Zhong, but Shang. You two saved my daughter's life. You are our Zhong clan's benefactors. Thus, you are worthy to toast to our family." Just as they spoke, the courtyard door was pushed open. The young female Jiu master Tianlan was dressed like a servant. After opening the door, she returned to Zhongxin Ci's side. "Missy." Xiao Dai looked at the courtyard full of people, feeling timid. "Let's go in." Zhongxin Ci let out a breath of turbid air. Under everyone's gaze, she walked into the courtyard. Suddenly, her footsteps stopped, and a pleasantly surprised expression appeared on her face. She saw Fang and Bai. It really is her. The moment she saw Zhongxin Ci, Bai Ningbing's pupils shrunk to pin size. She was completely shocked. In the entire place, no one could understand the shock in her heart. The shock in Bai Ningbing's heart was not from Zhongxin Ci, but towards Fang Yuan. She was extremely intelligent, and the moment Zhongxin Ci appeared, she came to a realization, finally realizing Fang Yuan's true motive. Zhongxin Ci was Zhongxin Ci, thus he had been protecting her. How did he know her identity? Was this all part of his scheme? At once, Bai Ningbing's thoughts surged, waves of shock rose in her heart. "Brother He Tu, sister Bai Yun, why are you here?" Zhongxin Ci stared at Fang Yuan, her eyes shining. I said I would give you a surprise, right?" Shang Yangfei smiled warmly. Zhongxin Ci bowed. "Thank you, father. This is the happiest day since I came to Zhong clan." After these days of confusion, she had already accepted that Shang Yangfei was her father. After these days, she accepted that Shang Yangfei was her father. Even though Zhongxin Ci still had resentment and hatred towards Shang Yangfei, the deep bond of kinship was something that the kind-hearted her could never sever. Shang Tian-like. Zhongxin Ci was. Tian is of God. Xin Tian is father, one. And is. Zhongxin Ci turned around and explained to Fang Yuan with a panicked expression, "Brother He Tu, I did not lie to you on purpose. Before," she said, "she other than 222, mother had asked me before. I only understood her painstaking efforts after meeting you." These words struck Bai Ningbing's heart like a bolt of lightning. Her blue eyes narrowed into a line. Her heart was filled with extreme shock and doubt. Even Zhongxin Ci doesn't know her identity. Why? Why does Fang Yuan know so clearly? Originally, Fang Yuan was shrouded in a layer of fog in her heart. She could not see him clearly. Now, the fog in Bai Ningbing's heart deepened. Fang Yuan became even more mysterious and unfathomable. "So that's why. I was wondering why Zhong clan treated me so well." "So that's why." Fang Yuan raised his head and sighed, then slowly shook his head, sighing to think that you are Zhong clan leader's daughter. "Brother He Tu, can you forgive me?" Zhongxin Ci clenched her fists, asking nervously. Shang Yangfei frowned slightly. From his daughter's tone and expression, this kid seemed to be important in her heart. Fang Yuan laughed. "It's all right, why would I blame you? Those who do not know are innocent. In fact, I lied to you too." "What?" Zhongxin Ci was stunned. Fang Yuan rubbed his nose. "He Tu and Bai Yun are just aliases." Zhongxin Ci immediately smiled, saying softly, "I guessed this long ago." Fang Yuan purposely hesitated for a moment, but still clenched his teeth and cupped his fists. I am ashamed to say this, my real name is Guo Fangjing, this is my companion by Ning Bing. Guo Fangjing, Fangjing. Shang Xin Ci muttered this name for a long time, remembering it in her heart. Shang Yangfei's smile became wider, he admired Fang Yuan's honesty. In fact, he had already investigated in detail. Although the Guo village was destroyed, Shang clan's influence was immense, they still obtained a lot of information from Jiao clan. The Guo village indeed had a person called Guo Fangjing, and this youngster had a great aptitude, he was being nurtured as a young clan leader by Guo clan. Similarly, there was also Bai Ning Bing, who was already designated as the young clan leader of Bai clan. Both of them were known as geniuses. As for why they disguised themselves and infiltrated the caravan, this was easier to investigate. Because of an inheritance from Bai Jiu Mountain, the only two young masters of Bai clan died in the hands of Fang and Bai. At the same time, they took away most of the inheritance. The arrest warrant issued by the Bai clan was the best proof of this. So it was like that, to speak the truth, I was just thinking about it. Shang Pu Laro laughed. This child congratulates Lord Father. Shang Bai she said. If there's any trouble, tell Big Brother. Shang Qiu Niu looked at Shang Xin Ci. This is great, I have another sister, coming to this clan banquet was worth it. Shang Kai Wen said with a smile. The young masters recovered from their shock and offered their congratulations. This is a joyous matter for everyone, because you have gained another sister. Shang Yangfei's gaze swept over his children, he was very clear about their mental state. Shang Xin Ci's appearance is undoubtedly a threat. From now on, there is one more person competing for the position of young master. Back then, wasn't Shang Tuo High Father's illegitimate son? Right now, he is Shang clan's young clan leader. Actually, there is no need to worry, Zhong clan is a vassal of Wu clan, and has a feud with Shang clan. Shang Xin Ci has no foundation, she is easy to deal with. The young masters had smiles on their faces, but they had different thoughts in their minds. There was no familial love in the royal family. The throne involved supreme interests, and even kinship would be defeated by these interests. Shang clan was the overlord of southern border, whoever ascended to the position of clan leader would be one of the few decision-makers of the entire southern border. Having a high position and authority, reaching the peak of the mortal world, the benefits were naturally huge. Which generation of Shang clan leader did not rise to the position of clan leader after a fierce battle of wills? Shang Yangfei was an experienced person, he knew the inside story. Thus, he felt even more pity for Shang Xin Ci. Now that Shang Xin Ci's identity was revealed, although it was to protect her, it also caused her to fall into a struggle. Come, Ci, sit beside me. Shang Yangfei patted the seat below him and said. Yes. Shang Xin Ci answered, looking deeply at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan smiled and nodded at her. Shang Xin Ci walked over and sat beside Shang Yangfei. Xiao Lan and Xiao Dai, the two servant girls, stood behind them. This scene was seen by the children, they all had different expressions. They had never seen their father love a child so much in their lives. Even the illegitimate son Shang Tuo Hai did not receive such treatment. All right, sit down. Shang Yangfei waved his hand, looking at Fang and Bai. He spoke, Guo Fangjing, Bai Ning Bing, you two saved my daughter and escorted her here. Our family is very grateful for this, tell me what you want, as the clan leader of Shang clan, I will do my best to satisfy you. The young masters couldn't help but cast envious gazes towards Fang and Bai. This was the gratitude of Shang clan leader, the promise of one of southern border's overlords, it was as important as a mountain. But Fang Yuan shook his head, Lord clan leader, we only protected young lady Shang Xin Ci because of her kindness. That kindness has been repaid, we are even. When he said this, everyone showed a surprised expression. Shang Fu she quickly reacted, squinting his eyes as he praised the ingenuity of this answer. Fang and Bai saved Shang Yangfei's daughter, Shang Yangfei would definitely reward them handsomely. If such a contribution was not rewarded, how would outsiders evaluate Shang clan? If Shang clan young masters were in danger in the future, who would save them? Shang Xin Ci saw that Fang Yuan did not want the reward, she became anxious and said to Shang Yangfei, Lord Father, actually, Big Brother He too lost a lot of wealth during this journey. Shang Yangfei was an astute person. Before Shang Xinci finished, he understood his daughter's intention. She was asking for money for Fang and Bai. He nodded. Since you two are GU masters, I will give you 1,000,000 yuan stone to express my gratitude. Hearing this, many young masters almost drooled. Although they controlled many businesses in Shangclan City, under the watchful eyes of the public, and with the annual assessment, they could not fill their pockets. Shang Yaz had talent, but he was too greedy, causing his business performance to be in danger. Fang Yuan shook his head again. To speak the truth, I once pulled a tooth out of a tiger's mouth, and snatched an inheritance. Now that I sold the recipe, I do not lack yuan stone. Shang Xinci only heard half of it, so? But her eyes shined brightly. Looked at Shang Yaz. You're tuning into the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating on his forehead. How could Shang Yangfei not know about Shang Yaz's matters? Even if the accounts were fake, he could guess some clues. But Shang Yaz was his son. Although he violated Shangclan's rules, as long as he did not expose it, it could be considered his ability. At his level, he had already understood, obeying the rules was not an ability. True ability was to break the rules and enjoy the benefits, but not get punished. True ability was to break the old order and create new rules, enjoying the benefits all the time. Shang Yangfei took the chance to give Shang Yaz a warning, and then, he suggested another reward.